Game number 28 of the Bourne Braves season. The Bravos are back home at Bourne Park to face the Harwich Mariners for the fourth and final time this season. Welcome in to Before the Bravos, our Braves pregame show. Calvin Cristoforo, Nick Galley with you as always, back in front of the camera after a long but exciting night last night in Chatham, where the Braves pulled away with a 2-1 victory on Military Appreciation Night. A game where the offense, it was hit or miss, didn't really show up. Zach Agnos, a solo home run, another run scored on an error. But the pitching was once again the story. I don't even know what to say about Michael Sansone at this point in the season.
I mean, what can you say? First of all, as you said, we're back on camera.
Yes,
you know what that means.
Handshake.
There it is. But yeah, Michael Sansone, this is a guy who I don't think had people didn't have high expectations of him when he was coming out here.
Yep.
You see his name on the roster, Michael Sansone, Fairfield kid, 5'8". How's this kid going to be, right? And this kid's been the best pitcher on this team. He has been the most consistent pitcher on this team, best pitcher on this team, .78 ERA.
Is that good?
It's very good, Calvin. It's very good. I know you asked me if things are good a lot, and most of the times they are very good when you ask me that question.
All right.
So Michael Sansone has been dominant in this league. It's the best summer league in the country, and Michael Sansone is owning it right now. So it's incredible to watch. Every night you know he's going to be player of the game. Like, it's pretty much
5 for 5.
A shoo-in at this point.
5 for 5.
Yeah, every night I come up to him before you go on with the post-game interview there, and I'm like, hey, man, you got to stop. Last night I said to him, I said, if you want to stop getting questions, man, you got to have at least one bad outing here. I mean, we keep coming to you. But he just doesn't.
Yeah.
He's been incredible.
So he was Wendy's, the 4 for 4, and then he moved on to the Subway 5 for 5. I don't know, it's not really a 5 for 5, $5 footlong, but they're not really $5 for footlong anymore.
That's just a little bit of a stretch
we'll
there,
move
Calvin.
past
That's
that.
a little bit of a
Which,
stretch.
a little bit of a stretch is ironic because Subway's footlong is a little bit of a stretch.
I see where you were going there.
Yeah, the head was in the right place.
I appreciate the effort.
Okay, yep.
But it was a little bit of a stretch.
How about this? Michael Sansone's been dominant because he picked number 1, the number 1 pitcher in the Cape Cod League.
Fair.
To my opinion, one of the 9 Braves All-Stars.
Man. That's how we're starting the show off today.
One of the 9 Braves All-Stars on the season. Harwich is the only other team with that number, and they have made the trip. Gotten a little bit of a traffic jam.
Yeah,
it
was bad today. Very bad.
We now know the difference between jelly and jam, but they got into a little bit of a traffic jam, which means this game is going to start at 6:10. That's why we're on the air at 5:50. It is a delayed start tonight. Just 10 minutes, though. It'll be a 6:10 first pitch here between the Braves and the Harwich Mariners from Bourne Park. Another cool story from last night, Bryson Cafaro came in, his second appearance of the season, came in with 2 out and 1 on in the bottom of the 9th inning, picked up the save, and it was really cool because a left-handed pitcher from Fairfield got the save when his teammate and good friend, Michael Sansone, another left-handed pitcher from Fairfield, got the win. So that was a wholesome moment, full circle. A couple of Fairfield Stags finished the game and end the game, and then a Cole Chudoba, who was excellent once again in the middle, filled in.
Yeah, Cole Chudoba was great. I saw Bryson earlier today. I said, hey, man, nice save last night. Nice 1/3, and probably one of the easier saves you'll get when you just have to come in.
And it was a high-pressure situation.
It was a high-pressure situation.
Because the game-winning run was at the plate.
High-pressure situation, but easy in the sense that you come in, 1 out, and you're done.
Yep.
You just don't even worry about the runner. Just get the batter, get the out, and you're good to go. You go home with a win, and that's exactly what he did. And he looked good in his debut and comes in a save situation last night. We're assuming Eric Adler wasn't available, obviously, going back-to-back nights.
Yep.
So
especially when he got 1 1/3, not just
he was a little bit extended,
yes.
and obviously, roughed up a little bit in that game, too, for the first time we've really seen all season.
Did get the win.
Did get the win. If you don't have your stuff one night, you still get a win. That's a good night.
Kind of a backdoor win, but I'm
sign of a good pitcher.
I'm sure Eric would have rather have the save, but he got the win.
Hey, you'll take it. You'll definitely take it. And yeah, Bryson Cafaro, really like what I saw from him. Cole Chudoba, really, really liked what I saw from him. He was dealing as well, especially after getting roughed up in his prior outing. So he bounced back, and that's what you like to see. Short memory from these guys, and we've seen it all year.
2-1 win against Chatham, which just makes me chuckle every time I say it because this is an Anglers team that's offense is at the bottom of the league this year, but they refuse to get shut out. They've had 4 hits or less in 4 different games this season, haven't gotten shut out, still were able to scratch one run across home plate last night, but couldn't get it done. The Braves got their 21st win of the season last night. Another cool stat from last night's game, the Braves have now beaten every other team in the Cape Cod League. That's cool. And another cool thing that can happen tomorrow night when the Braves are at Orleans, I believe if the Braves get it done tomorrow night, they would have won at every field in the Cape Cod League.
That might be true. I think that is true, I believe, yeah.
So that's a couple cool things. One happened last night, one could happen tomorrow.
Pretty cool season, if you ask me. I mean, not bad.
That's a hot take. That's a real hot take.
Not bad. I mean, yeah, this team, it's just been dominant wherever it's gone, you know? And it's not, you know, we've seen some duds at home, but even the games where they're not really supposed to win, they still find a way to pull it out. And that's what makes I don't want to start saying things about a championship, but that's what makes a championship caliber team, a team with the potential to go on to do big things. You have to win the games that you might not be expecting to, and they've shown that. They battle back from adversity time and time again, and there's a lot of late-game heroics.
And a lot of late-game heroics, a championship caliber team for certain, and they can make that official tonight. According to our official scorer, Bob, who comes in and gives us great statistics on every single home game.
He's on top of it.
Every game, every day he's on top of it, does a great job keeping the official scorebook. He tells us tonight the Braves, with a win last night against Chatham, have clinched a berth in the 2021 Cape Cod League playoffs and can win the West Division tonight. All they need is a W. If they can't get it done, they can do a backdoor win of the division if the Falmouth Commodores lose tonight. So win or tie, actually. Win or tie, and the Braves have clinched the #1 overall seed in the West Division and a berth in the playoffs. They've already clinched a berth in the playoffs. There's only one way the Braves do not make the finish as the #1 seed. They have to lose out, and Falmouth has to win out. So that's not going to happen. So
we hope not.
That's not going to happen.
We hope not.
That is not going to happen. So that is just a matter of time before the Braves clinch the #1 spot in another West Division title, the first, I believe, since 2014.
I mean, this team it's special.
Real special.
I mean, you really can't say enough about it, and it's been great to watch. You know, we've luckily had a front seat to every single game, every single Bourne Braves games. On the nights where, on the few nights they've lost, they've been close losses. You know, this team isn't getting blown out in their losses. On the ties, it's games where, you said it last time, I think you said it best.
Yeah.
The games they look like they should lose, they tie.
Yep.
So it's been stuff like that. And then obviously 21 wins.
21 wins, 21 3-3 coming in play tonight. A big reason why has been the pitching. It was no different last night with Michael Sansone, Coach Udoba, and Bryson Cafaro. Tonight, it is Jordan Patty getting the ball. He pitched last Sunday against Kituitt, his best outing of the season. 5 strong, scoreless innings. I talked to Coach Harvey Shapiro after the game last night, and I asked him, you know, great win tonight, Coach. What are you looking for tomorrow against Harwich? And he tells me everything starts with the starting pitcher, and that is Jordan Patty tonight. How does he build off his excellent outing last Sunday against Kituitt?
I want to see him work the off-speed heavy tonight.
Yes.
Honestly, because Harwich, obviously, very talented lineup, filled with some all-stars there. We know Bourne and Harwich, 9-9 when it comes to all-stars. So this is kind of a heavyweight battle. You got like Floyd Mayweather and like Muhammad Ali, if they could go up against each other, if they could.
All right.
Or Mike Tyson, you know, pick your fighter. But anyway, I want to see him working the off-speed, stay low and away with the junk, because that gets guys off balance. Very hard as a hitter to drive that low and away stuff out of this ballpark and put in play for solid contact. Obviously, you're not going to be 100% perfect. You know, you're not going to be throwing every ball outside corner, outside black with the off-speed. But you want to be sitting around like 50%, 60% of really solid, stellar pitches catching that outside corner with the off-speed. If he does that, I think he's going to have these Harwich Mariners really off balance and keep the scoring very low. I mean,
say it.
3 runs or less, you avoid the mess. I mean,
he said it.
It's a tale as old as time. But yeah, I mean, just kind of keep the scoring low here. You don't want to get into a high-scoring game really, because the offense hasn't been electric as of late. So if this game does get high scoring, it's kind of a question mark as to how Bourne can compete with that. So pitching is going to be huge tonight. Nothing on the other side. Harwich bullpen right now, definitely in shambles after last night's ridiculous game. What, 18-16?
18-16.
Yeah.
The Harwich Mariners and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks have put up 2 video game matchups back-to-back. It was in Hyannis last week. The Mariners came out with a 15-12 win. Last night in Harwich, it was 18-16. So it's a double-edged sword
Yeah.
because this Harwich bullpen is in shambles.
Yes.
And the last time they played the Braves, that was last week at White House Field. The Braves scored 6 runs in the 9th inning off of that bullpen, so they probably still have shell shock
Yes.
from the last time these two teams played. So I think for me, personally, it is critical to get to the
Yes.
starting pitcher offensively. Get to the starting pitcher and try to put runs up on the board early because the bullpen, we mentioned it, it could be a puzzle to
Yeah.
put together tonight.
If you took the under last night, you were wrong. But yeah,
If you took the under, you were right. Oh, depending on which game. You're talking about the Harwich game.
Harwich game.
Okay,
Harwich
I was
game,
just
yes. If you took the under in the Harwich game, very wrong. If you took it in the Bourne game, good for you. If you parlayed it, even better. If you parlayed those two, you're sitting pretty. But you have to look at it like this. Striker, like I say strike early a lot. Tonight maybe
So important.
might be the most important
So
game where you
important.
strike early because if you get into that bullpen,
Mhm.
you're definitely not seeing their best arms. And if you are, they're very, 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 very tired. And you're going to be able to put up a crooked number on this Harwich team.
18-16. It's just crazy. You played baseball growing up. Did you ever get in a game like that?
I think the highest scoring one I had was like 15-14 maybe.
It was,
And I remember my town had one,
Yep.
a Little League like tournament game where it was to Williamsport, but we never made it that far.
Yeah.
But we beat a team, I'm not even kidding, like 40-5. I'm not even kidding. We had a kid hit 3 home runs in 1 inning. I am not. This is. You can look this up. I'm not even kidding.
You're not kidding, but you are bragging. So
I am bragging.
The
It
question
wasn't
was,
me.
The question was, did you have any high-scoring games?
15-14, something like that.
I
so
think,
I
yeah.
had like one that I can
Yeah.
remember. But
Yeah.
the pitching wasn't great. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, we were
Absolutely.
8 years old, throwing
You were 8 years old.
31 miles per
Well,
hour.
the,
So
one- the one I was 13. It
Mhm.
was 21-14.
who won?
Of course, we won, but it was a doubleheader. It was a travel game doubleheader.
I mean, they were just one touchdown away.
We
though.
won 21-14, and then we lost the next game, like 8-7, because it was a doubleheader. So it was
Oh my God, that's a high scoring
high scoring.
day.
It was a long day. It was a long day. We were in Chelmsford. We were playing down in.
Oh yes, I played there quite a bit.
We were in Chelmsford, and that was a hot and that was a long summer day.
Do you remember what team you played?
We were playing the Spinners.
Not the Lowell Spinners.
Not at the Lowell Spinners,
Yeah,
but
no?
that's the name of the organization.
Okay.
But we'll move past that.
Yeah,
We're talking
yeah,
about the
yeah.
Braves here. We don't need to go down memory lane too much further with Nick and I.
It's rain delay talk. Save that for rain delay
Save that
talk.
for rain delay talk. There's no rain delay tonight. Just a 10-minute pushback. Supposed to start at 6. Getting started tonight at 6:10 between the Braves and the Harwich Mariners. We talked about Jordan Patty getting the ball. We talked about how this lineup needs to strike early. So let's talk about the guys who are in the Braves lineup trying to strike early against Harwich. It starts with Joe Lampe, about a 2-week off from the leadoff spot.
Week and a half maybe.
He's back in there tonight. Christian Knapczyk not in the lineup tonight after he took an 0 last night in Chatham. So Joe Lampe's got his cleanup spot back, hitting first, playing center field.
Well, let's see if he can get back in his groove. I know he's got a picture of the pine tar ball in there now. So I honestly think Joe Lampe's going to have a big game.
Okay,
I do.
That's encouraging.
I have a lot of trust in that pine tar ball.
Quickly tell the story about the pine tar ball. What happened?
Apparently it had been lost on the bus. I got a text from Joe last night. He said, we lost the ball on the bus. He said, you're working on this story. You're in this now, too. I need you to print a picture of the pine tar ball because I had a picture of it that I took on my phone from the other day. No printer at the Airbnb. So Nikki G hustled over to Staples in Falmouth today. Don't you worry. 60-cent print copy off the press. Bought a frame, framed it. We're good to go. We're good to go.
Well, the pine tar ball, hopefully the picture version of the pine tar ball brings some luck for the Braves today. So Joe Lampe batting first. We're getting close to game time here, so I'm just going to run through the entire
Run it
order.
through. I'll give you a couple guys.
And
Yeah,
we'll
I'll
get a couple
pick out
guys to look at. So Joe Lampe leading off playing center. Max Anderson back at third base tonight. He hits second. Dalton Rushing has the night off from defense. He's DHing, hitting third. Braylon Rimmer, we saw him make his first start in right field last night. Back there tonight, hitting fourth. Tanner Schobel moves up to the 5 spot. Joined our podcast this morning, Bravo's Banter. That should be coming up the next couple of days. So you should watch out for that, but you should watch out for Tanner tonight, playing shortstop, hitting 5th. Colby Thomas back in the lineup. He had last night off, plays left field, hitting 6th. Josh Moylan at first base, hitting 7th at first base. Zach Agnos played at third base last night, hit a home run. Stays in the order tonight with no Christian Knapczyk. Agnos is over at second base tonight. Last time he played Harwich, he was at second too, so that's a little ironic. But Agnos
second, I guess.
back at second against Harwich, and then Peter Burns, the hero from the other night. It's his time to catch. He had the night off last night with John Garcia, making his first start in a Braves jersey. But Peter Burns back behind the plate, hitting 9.
3 guys I'm looking for today, Tanner Schobel and Agnos, because they've been playing more consistently.
Yep.
And I talked with Agnos last night. He said that's been helping him. We talked with Tanner today on the podcast, which you need to go check out when it comes
it'll
out.
be a drop in a couple of days, yep.
Of course. He said that's helped him. And the third guy I'm looking out for, Peter Burns. Last time he was on this field, we know what happened. So you got to be riding a high if you're coming off a walk-off hit here at Durham Park. Watch out for Peter Burns tonight at the bottom of the order.
Yeah, for me, it's Colby Thomas. He took a ball off the hands the other night against Orleans, had the night off last night. So I'm interested to see how he's feeling. He was starting to get into a little bit of a groove, hitting the ball hard. I want to see if his hand is good to go tonight and how his swing looks against Harwich. The lineup's being announced. We're going to get to the national anthem in just a second, but it gives us ample time to give you our picks to pop.
Oh, I already got it. I'm putting all my faith in the Pine Tar ball, in my guy Joe Lampe. He's my pick to pop tonight. Without a doubt. I mean, this is the most...
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
I'm going with Dalton Rushing tonight,
right,
because I think the Braves get into the Mariners bullpen, and Dalton Rushing, who is, you can make the argument the best hitter in this Braves lineup. You can look at a bevy of other names too.
You just say bevy?
I did.
Beautiful word choice.
But I think Dalton Rushing for me is the guy. He'll get one tonight. Well, the national anthem before Daniel and Reeves have the call here from Durham Park. Enjoy the game, everybody.
The music ministry of St. John the Evangelist, Cassett.
Thank you, Jack and Jasmine McDonald, for those first pitches of tonight's matchup against the Harwich Mariners, as the Bourne Braves coming into this game 21-3 against the Chatham Anglers after finally defeating what seemed to be our kryptonite last night at Veterans Field. We made our rounds all the way around the Cape League, and we have defeated every team, and the Harwich Mariners are no exception to that, coming off a 10-4 victory where the Bourne Braves scored 6 in the top of the 9th That was at White House Field, and we're seeing them again this week here at Bourne Park. Tonight, under the lights, a little bit of a delay, but Jordan Patty's someone who we've seen and succeed on the mound, on the bump again.
Yeah, the last time we saw them here at Bourne Park, it was Colton Bender who hit that big game-tying home run after the long 2.5-hour lightning delay in the 7th inning. If you remember, if you go back to that game, both the teams had incredible energy coming out of that lightning delay, with both teams almost in a screaming match of who could be louder, and Colton Bender brought the energy, and the Braves were lucky enough to escape that game with a 1-1 tie in which the bats weren't working, but the bats were certainly working in that 9th inning, as well as some help with some free passes from one of the all-stars of Owen Cody. But here we got Jordan Patty on the mound today, Daniel, looking to build off his impressive last start 5 shutout innings against the Kettleers.
Yeah, and that came against a team in the Kettleers who also had our first loss of the season again. So another important outing for Jordan Patty, as well as trying to establish the starters moving towards the playoffs in this season. And what are you looking for Patty to succeed tonight?
I think it all comes down to first pitch strikes. We saw Jordan Patty, and the one time he was kind of roughed up this season, he was falling behind in the count. And then obviously he's got to put pitches over the plate, and Jordan Patty's the guy who pitches to contact. He gets strikeouts just because his stuff is so good. I talked about that on our pregame Tomahawk Talk, but you just got to get ahead with first pitch strikes. It's very important to establish the fastball early. It'll allow him to be more flexible and allow him to play around with his off-speed stuff later on in the game whenever he wants to. So looking for Jordan Patty to build off another strong start, but you got 5 All-Stars in the Harwich Mariners lineup tonight, so it does not get any easier going from the Kettleers to the Harwich Mariners. In fact, definitely gets tougher against the Kettleers team that's been struggling, and a Harwich team in second place in the East that is looking to go playoff bound.
The Harwich Mariners coming into this game 15-8-4. Prez Kavanaugh, the right fielder, is the first batter that Jordan Patty is going to face. And a man for the Harwich Mariners who is going to be the pitcher, coming in with a 2.13 ERA.
And for Patty, a 2.81 ERA himself, 2-0. And here against Prez Kavanaugh.
First pitch low. For the Mariners, it's going to be Raiselman. He's coming in with a 2.13 ERA, so a lot of good pitching going around, and a star-studded side for both teams. The 1-0 taken foul, and a busy night here at Bourne Park. The hill to our left continues to be filled, and the Bourne Braves looking to make it 22 in the win column. A huge win at Veterans Field, 2-1, thanks to Zach Agnos and Braylon Wimmer, as well as an E6. The Chatham Anglers continued to have trouble with their error column, and the Braves jumped all over it and won by the slightest of margins. Patty ahead 1-2 against Prez Kavanaugh.
Yeah, Prez Kavanaugh, who's one of those 5 Eastern Division All-Stars in the lineup for the Harwich Mariners. Mariners in their blue today, Braves in the home whites.
That 1-2 chopped foul. From left to right in the infield is Anderson at third, Schobel at short. Agnos getting another chance over there at second, and Joshua Moylan at first. Just looking at this lineup as well as the defense, mostly the defense I'll stick to right now. What's your first impression?
I love the defense. I really do. I think Schobel at shortstop, getting Knapcheck a day off, I think is important.
We're the resident Schobel guys at shortstop.
Yes, we are. We are.
We're
we
the
are
biggest
indeed.
fans of Schobel at short.
Obviously, Knapp is almost just as good there, but nice start for Harwich.
Kavanaugh leadoff base hit off of Patty off a 1-2 count, and they have a man on first with Tatum Levins as the catcher from Pitt. The Panther looking to add on, and a great start for the Mariners.
Yeah, great start there for Prez Kavanaugh. And you got, obviously, all the All-Stars in this lineup, and no different here with Tatum Levins. The first 4 guys here in this Harwich lineup today, all All-Stars: Kavanaugh, Levins, Wilkin, Potts. The only other All-Star in Chris Newell from Virginia, not in the lineup today for the Mariners. So 5 All-Stars offensively, 4 in the lineup today, and just like the Braves All-Stars, 4 in a row, although Knapcheck not in the lineup for the Braves today.
Swing and a miss from Levins, and Knapcheck with a rare off day. He was not as effective as we are used to. He came into last night's game with the top average in the league.
Yeah, went 0 for 5.
His average last night also just spoke to the lack of offense and the lack of runs we saw. There goes Kavanaugh. He's beaten by a country mile by Peter Burns. Again, Peter Burns, a stand-up thrower at heart, and he shows that once again. I feel like I get all of Peter Burns' guns down to second, but that is out number one, and Patty can breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, just what looked like a delayed steal there from Kavanaugh, but not a smart one. He leads his team in stolen bases, but not a smart move. Kavanaugh, who hit in the 2-hole the last time these Mariners played the Braves at home.
That 1-1 is taken to right field. A little stumble from Colby Thomas, but he's underneath it nonetheless. 2 outs, and Jordan Patty goes from a man on first to now 2 outs with no one on. And Brock Wilken, the third baseman, due up. Speaking of Wake Forest, we have an outfielder in Costello from Wake Forest who is due to arrive soon. Another add close to this playoff run.
Yeah, got to add the outfielders. Obviously, the Braves losing Caden Wallace, so adding Costello, outfielder from Wake. But you looked at the league leaders again. I feel like we always kind of keep tabs on what's going on, and it's always the two offenses of the Bourne Braves and the Harwich Mariners. But Prez Kavanaugh, who came into this game leading the league now with a .348 average. Knapcheck, who dropped 20 points on his percentage yesterday, .353 down to .333 after his 0 for 5 showing. Kavanaugh down the 350s after that leadoff single. Brock Wilken, another guy here, third in the league in batting average at .323, has hit 5 home runs and has driven in 22 Harwich Mariners this season.
Well, the last time Peter Burns was behind the plate, and on this field for that matter, his shirt was being ripped off as he knocked a base hit with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, sending in Joe Lampe to win in the last home game, a 1-1 count. 1-2 count now, and that was against the Orleans Firebirds, who we tied 2-2 a few weeks ago at Eldridge Park, and we're going to be traveling to Eldridge Park tomorrow for our third matchup against the Firebirds.
Yeah, looking forward to playing them for the third and final time this season.
2-2 to Brock Wilken. Patty sticking with the fastball mostly and letting his defense make the plays. Another great stand-up and gun down to second from Peter Burns, and a flyout from Tatum Levens. Brock Wilken trying to stay alive, one pitch away. Breaking ball from Jordan Patty ends the top of the first. Jordan Patty has not missed a beat from his other start just a week ago. 0-0, and the Braves' first opportunity to hit coming up just after the break. Zero to zero here at Doran Park after Jordan Patty went 1-2-3. And Eric Raiselman on the mound from LSU. He's an all-star, and he'll face a man who hasn't been at the top of the order for quite some time, Joe Lampe.
Yeah, Joe Lampe finally being implanted back at the top of the order for the Braves tonight. Obviously, Christian Knapcheck the night off, so good to see Joe back in that leadoff spot. The now playoff-bound Bourne Braves, after they clinched a playoff spot a night ago with that big win over the Chatham Anglers. And Daniel, they can clinch the Western Division tonight with a win, a tie, or a Falmouth loss or tie. Just can't lose and can't have Falmouth win. And division's ours this year.
Raiselman's first pitch right down the pipe, and as Reeves said, a win or a tie here tonight would clinch the top spot or a Falmouth loss.
Yes.
0-1. Raiselman, as you mentioned, Reeves coming in with a 2.13 ERA. He is an all-star in this league, one of many for the Mariners as well as the Braves. So we joked last time at White House Field that this is a star-studded, almost all-star-like lineup we're going to see. And a fly out from Joe Lampe in his first leadoff hit in quite some time. A fly out to the second baseman in shallow center field.
Well, really, you look at these two teams, and you could field an all-star game just with these two teams, 18 players. Obviously, the Braves have 4 hitters, and obviously Harwich with 5 hitters, so you got 9 hitters, and then you got 9 pitchers. Harwich has 4, we have 5. You could field an all-star game with these two teams. That's how these two teams are going. This is very much so a potential championship matchup that we're seeing here today if these two teams are so lucky to get there.
Well, if you were going to field an all-star team here tonight, you cannot look past Max Anderson, another all-star in Nebraska Cornhusker coming in batting .309. He's ahead early with a 2-0 count. Anderson has been quite comfortable and frequently at the 2 spot. Often Christian Knapczyk there, chopped up the middle. Will it get through? A good play by Preisner, but Max Anderson beats it out down the first base line. That'll be an infield hit.
Nice shot there by Max. Put it in play, put it up the middle, and obviously Preisner was able to corral it, but not before Anderson was going to beat the wrap regardless. Preisner obviously put it in his back pocket. And obviously here Dalton Rushing coming to the plate as the 3-hole hitter.
Rushing another all-star on the field tonight.
You mentioned Raiselman, a 2.13 ERA, 22 strikeouts in 12 2/3. A season-high 9 strikeouts. Struck out 7, though, in his last outing. 6 hits, 1 earned over 5 innings against the Anglers.
Anderson at first, and a first pitch strike from Raiselman to Dalton Rushing from Louisville. And as the season has gone on, the lineup has really taken form, and I think this is going to be mainly what we're going to see tonight moving forward and into the playoffs. Maybe other than Christian Knapczyk most likely taking over that 1 spot as a fly ball goes down the left field line, just foul and out of play and out of reach of Phillips in left field.
Man, how about the effort there from Dylan Phillips? Was tumbling over that left field foul wall down the line. Almost made an incredible play. That ball almost ended up in his glove. Very Braylon Wimmer-esque on the last home game we played here against Orleans 2 nights ago, and Wimmer had a similar play over there and went towards that wall and almost flipped over. Didn't make the catch either.
Rushing batting .299. The 0-2 with Anderson at first. First ball drifting high. Rushing also the home run leader on this team with 4. We saw one in our first visit to Veterans Field in Chatham last night. No action from him, but we did see a deep bomb from Zach Agnos, who is in the 8th spot tonight at second. 1-2. Another ball on the outside, 2-2. And Anderson not known to be an aggressive base runner, but you never know. If it gets behind Levens, you could see him taking off. Harvey Shapiro is a conservative coach as far as base runners. And a 2-2 to Dalton Rushing with 1 out in the bottom of the first. And there goes Anderson, the throw from Levens. That's going to get off the chest of Preisner, and he is safe. And how about that? Dalton Rushing strikes out, however, but a man in scoring position now in Anderson.
Well, we were just talking about it. You just said how Anderson, who isn't your prime candidate to run, but don't be surprised if he goes. Never know, and he's off on the move on the next pitch. Daniel, you're speaking things into existence.
It's almost like when we say the one thing that they can't do is ground into a double play, and, of course, that is what happens. But here we go with the Braylon Wimmer RBI leader on this team. He has been red hot. 2 hits last night with Max Anderson at second base in scoring position. First pitch swinging foul. Wimmer on the season has 16 RBIs. One of them was in a way, stripped away from him last night. He had a ground ball that looked like he was going to beat out. It was called an E6. But that scored a run, but no RBI. He's tied with Dalton rushing.
Yeah, luckily for Braylon, got credited with the base hit, and then the air brought home Max Anderson.
0-1. That one sprayed into foul territory and caught by the first baseman, Potts. So that's out number 3. Max Anderson stranded in scoring position, and again, the Braves strand one of their own in an attacking position. 0-0 going to the top of the second. We're going to see the same starters that we saw in the first.
From the University of Notre Dame, number 22, Carter Potts.
Carter Potts, another all-star that we did not see a few nights ago at White House Field, stepping in to start things off in the top of the second. Again, Jordan Patty on the mound, but Carter Potts from Notre Dame, the first baseman who made the catch off of Braylon Wimmer's foul ball, shallow in right field, and he sprays a foul ball of his own.
Yeah, Potts an all-star for this team, and he has been excellent for the Harwich Mariners this year. Obviously a deserved all-star. As Potts on the season for this team, a .270 hitter. Has not had a homer, but has driven in 12 and has walked 10 times. So double-digit walks for Potts, 23 strikeouts to boot.
1-1 to him. Carter Potts, as you mentioned, a .270 hitter. 12 RBIs on the season. He sprays that one foul. Bourne just needs a win or a tie tonight, or a Falmouth loss. And Reeves, we were discussing off air something, you know, as far as the Braves moving towards the playoffs. We know that they're going to be in the playoffs. What's a team that you don't want to run across? Maybe from, of course, the West Division, but even looking further towards the East.
I think from the Western Division to start, if we play a team obviously in that first round, I would not want to play the Cotuit Cavaliers. Cotuit, obviously, you mentioned too when we were talking about it just a minute ago.
2-2 spray to Agnos, his first defensive play at second tonight, and he executes it flawlessly for out number 1.
Yeah, we talked about it just a minute ago off air. We talked about how the Braves, you know, they hit up Jake Brooks. They actually got to Jake, obviously from UCLA. Came into that game with the lowest ERA in the Cape League. But obviously, if you had your choices, why would you want to face him again? You did hit him the one time, but you look at the possibility of facing Brooks in that first game here at Doran Park. If they beat you, you got to go back to Cotuit and 4,500 to 5,000 fans strong.
Another chopper to Zach Agnos, and the same result. Out number 2, Zach Agnos looking as comfortable as ever over there on the right side of the infield. 2 outs quickly for Jordan Patty, and
Now batting, the center fielder from the University of Tennessee.
1 hit
number
apiece for
21,
each
Jordan
side.
Beck.
The first coming from Prez Kavanaugh. Jordan Beck, the center fielder, looking to make that 2, but Jordan Patty looks stout as ever.
And obviously back to the conversation, so Katuitt obviously handed the Braves their first loss of the season. And then you look at Falmouth. It's a team the Braves just lost to, but a team the Braves have played excellent against, especially offensively. The pitching staff just had a rough night in that first game of the season when we won 13-8. But really, you look at it, it was just a grand slam. Ben Etheridge gave up 5. Etheridge, who's been incredible since then. Outside of that, though, the Braves pitching staff has done fantastic against the Commodores.
Now 1-1. Jordan Beck on the season with a .250 average. Come from the University of Tennessee, and something our own Darren Weeks told us that is common with the Cape League is you look at a lot of the guys in the SEC, and a lot of them will take off before the playoffs just because of how the academic year is scheduled, starting in early to mid-August.
And especially baseball workouts beginning and all of that, so
he could be a guy that the Harwich Mariners lose.
Yeah, that is very true.
But you never know. You can't tell until these kids get closer to the playoffs. Fouled off, 2-2 count is, boy, the playoffs seemed so far away just a week ago. And now you look at the schedule, we have merely just a week until we really have to start thinking about matchups.
Yeah, well, we got 10 games remaining on the season, so you really think about it, you got a week. And then as you mentioned, 3 games left. The Braves obviously, hopefully, if not tonight, well, then at least in the next 2-3 days, hopefully, at the very latest, clinch up and lock up the Western Division. And then it's all about the battle for the 2 seed. Who's going to get that 2 spot? Will it be the Commodores? Will it be Katuitt? Will Wareham, who struggled of late with just 9 wins on the year, battle back? And I think going back to the conversation we were just having, Wareham's a team I would want to play most ideally because the Braves have had so much success against them.
And mostly success at Spillane Field,
Yeah.
Coming in.
That's the biggest thing because obviously you're comfortable with the Braves winning at Doran Park. And if they win game 1, well, let's go take game 2 on the road. And where the Braves played the best at, you're right, at Spillane. That's the thing. Spillane Field, they have the least attended crowd in the Cape League. The crowd is going to be a huge factor come postseason play, and you don't want to deal with the Kettleers at Lowell Park or the Commodores at Gov Fuller. Those fans will be out in droves, and they'll make it tough for you to win. And then if, on the flip side, you lose game 1, you have to win game 2. So you go win game 2, and then you got to win game 3.
A walk to Jordan Beck on a close fastball by the knees of Beck. He was looking straight down the barrel of his 27th strikeout of the year, but he is able to make it 2 first. Jake Lazaro, the designated hitter, will be at the plate. The second base runner on for the Harwich Mariners tonight. Coming into this game, 15-8-4. And how about that East Division? I mean, you look at Brewster, you look at Harwich, and all of these teams, you can go down the line, and you could make a case for all of them to be playoff contenders and even contend for that trophy at the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the 2 teams you have to pinpoint first are obviously the teams in first and in second place. YD has fallen off of late. They are 3-5-2 in their last 10, and that includes a 3-game losing streak. But you look at the top of that division, Brewster and Harwich are neck and neck. Just 2 points behind Brewster is Harwich, a team that is offensively sound at the plate, and their pitching has carried them through the season. They have 143 runs scored. They have allowed 122. You look at their offense, that's best in the league. They have the most runs scored. Bourne just behind them with 137. Before Orleans following up in third at 132. But you look at the Brewster Whitecaps, they've only allowed 98 runs on the season. That is second best. Obviously, Bourne has only allowed 76 with the best run differential at positive 61. So whatever you're going to get, the Braves might be lucky enough that they'll, might have gotten him.
Oh, Joshua Moylan's tagged just a bit late according to the first base umpire. But how about that pickoff move from Jordan Patty? He stepped off early and tried to get Jordan Beck sleeping.
Tell you what, Jordan Beck's playing a little frisky over there at first base.
I don't know, Reeves. That was close.
That was close.
That's as close as you're going to get Joshua Moylan trying to make a case. Back again, he's safe. Patty keeping an eye on Beck.
But so obviously you look at the Western Division. Braves might get lucky. Obviously, these teams are tough. But there's not really an established dominant second team in the division right now that has proven that they can rival Bourne this year. But you look at the Eastern Division, it's a Harwich team that has tied us, a Brewster team that played excellent against the Braves before the Braves ended up taking that game. That was the second time. We played them for a third time on Friday. That's at home, our last Friday night home game of the year. We beat the brakes off of them in the second game of the season. That was at Stony Brook Field. And then obviously when they came here, a close win for the Bravos. So they've had more success against Brewster, but they really haven't faced Brewster since they got hot, especially since their pitching staff has been pitching so well.
3-1 to Lazaro. Swing and a miss, and a payoff pitch on the way. As you mentioned, Reeves, baseball is so funny because as comfortable as we are with the lead in the West, you never know against a team like Cotuit or Wareham or Falmouth, who have all really had our number in some way or another at some point in this season. So all of these teams, these matchups could be all over the place. As Jordan Patty strikes out Jake Lazaro, the second strikeout for Patty on the night. And the second opportunity for the Braves to get the offense going in the bottom of the second right after this. 0-0 at home at Doran Park. Tanner Schobel at the plate. The Virginia Tech Hokie takes one high from Raiselman. Zero to zero. Score in a 1-1 count. Another East versus West Division matchup, which we have seen a lot of. We've seen the Firebirds here 2 days ago. We saw Chatham last night in what was quite a display. The United States Coast Guard helicopters coming over Veterans Field. We had police and firefighters and Coast Guards and first responders all on the field. It was quite a sight last night, Reeves. And we wish we could have brought it to you through video, and we did in a way through social media. And that's going to ring up Tanner Schobel for a strikeout in the first out for Raiselman. But unfortunately, just the radio couldn't do it justice by what we were seeing last night.
Yeah, that's why we told you if you had the opportunity to tune into the Chatham broadcast, they brought that to you. Obviously, as Daniel mentioned, that tried to bring that to you on social media as best as we could, but I feel like nothing did it justice unless you were there in person, which was so cool for us to be there. Obviously, you had the first responders night, in which they celebrated all the firefighters and the policemen, and then obviously you had the Coast Guard come in the helicopter. Called more of a hover, a pregame hover than a flyover. It was really cool, though. Stayed there and did like a little circle around the field, and kind of cool seeing all the warning track dust start to fly around the field, and really got an opportunity to pay respects and say thank you to all the great first responders, and obviously have the cool flyover.
Colby Thomas taking one to center field, just shallow and into the glove of Preisner at short. 2 outs quickly for Raiselman, and this game seems to be flying by. Colby Thomas as well as Tanner Schobel going down at the hands of Raiselman. However, we're looking to go 3-0 in this East Division stretch, and that continues into tomorrow, traveling to Eldridge Park against the Orleans Firebirds for the second time this week. Swing and a miss, And the last time we saw them was here at Bourne Park, where catcher Peter Burns was able to slap a base hit up the middle, the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs. Again, the Braves answer.
Yeah, what a night that was to beat Orleans. And obviously we're back to Eldridge Park tomorrow for our second and final visit and our third and overall final visit with the Firebirds. So as you mentioned, obviously a big stretch here against the Eastern Division. We'll play Katuitt on Tuesday. Just a little break for the East, and then you're right back to the Eastern Division.
Swing and a miss, and another strikeout for Josh Moylan, who continues to look for his rhythm at the plate. And Raiselman continues to deal, as well as Jordan Patty, who we are going to see for the third inning straight. 0-0 at Bourne Park. We're scoreless at home. Two innings down. Scoreless affair, East versus West, against the Harwich Mariners, we saw just a few days ago. Late game heroics there again, and we might be seeing that tonight at Bourne Park. Mac McDermott up, and so too is Reeve Jackson on the play-by-play.
Thank you, Daniel Coates. Tremendous job, sir. We go to the top of the third. Jordan Patty against McDermott, and the first pitch is fouled off. Daniel, I want to continue this conversation about, potential playoff opponents, because now it's so relevant. They're relevant now more than ever, with the Braves clinching a playoff spot tonight and having the opportunity to lock up the Western Division tonight. Obviously, just behind us in the press box here, we got the few Western Division Conference trophies the Braves have won of their time here in the Cape League.
Yeah, and again, just so close to that. Holding on by the skin of their teeth is the rest of this West Division.
The only way that the Bourne Braves would not be able to win the Western Division, get this at home, the Braves would have to lose 10 in a row, the final 10, and Falmouth would have to win the final 10. Falmouth would finish with a .613 winning percentage. Meanwhile, Bourne would finish with a winning percentage of .611 as Patty strikes out McDermott one away.
And if Patty keeps pitching like that, we're going to be coming out of here with a West Division title. But, it's so cool to have all these trophies and accolades back here, because it reminds you of how important it is to this organization, and not only to the organization but also the community. I mean, you can see that fans have come out in droves, and I use the word buzz because there really is some energy around this team where they're coming down here. They want to invest in each other, in themselves, and in this organization, and they want to come out of the Cape with a win and with a trophy to show for it.
Preisner, who flip-flopped spots in the order with McDermott from the last time we saw the Mariners. Preisner, who, if you remember, hit that home run to left center field against the Braves. A 1-1 count from Jordan Patty, Central Michigan right-hander, a 2.81 ERA, a 2-0 is Patty. So we talked about at the top of the broadcast, 5 shutout innings against the Katuitt Cavaliers, and the Braves win. That was a week ago, last Sunday evening, as we got a Sunday night of baseball here. The Braves are on the road at Orleans tomorrow, on the road at Catuit on Tuesday, before returning home Wednesday and Friday with the off day in the middle in there on Thursday. 1-2 from Patty. Fastball high and away, just missed. Good spot 2-2.
The Preisner, who last time we saw him at White House Field with a solo shot bomb that continued that chip away comeback from the Harwich Mariners, and we said to ourselves, Reeves, oh no, we're going to the ninth with a tie game, and when we took the lead early on.
Nice short hop pick there by Anderson. The throw to first. Moylan comes down with the tag off the bag. Preisner took a slide over there at first. Seems to be all right. He gets up, but Anderson makes a nice play on the big hop there. 2 down.
But as I was saying, we got off to a 3-run and then 1 run, so for a 4-0 lead early on, and the Mariners just chipped back through and through 6 innings of no hits for the Braves. And what do they do best? They respond to adversity. They respond when they're down, especially offensively, and they blew up in the top of the 9th with 6 runs scored, all started by Colby Thomas's walk.
Yeah, Prez Kavanaugh, as we mentioned the last time we were at White House Field earlier this week. What was that, Tuesday? I believe it was Tuesday. It was. Prez Kavanaugh, who is teammates with Austin Parsley at UNCG, so pretty cool to see UNC Greensboro represented. He's going to try to go to the same spot he did last time. In comes Colby Thomas, and with a dive makes another outstanding catch. The Web Gems just won't stop coming to the Mercer outfielder as he helps Jordan Patty escape the top of the 3rd. Nothing doing for the Mariners. The Braves coming back up in the bottom of the 3rd when we come back to Dorn Park. Back here in the booth with Reeves Jackson. Calvin, sending it down to you now. Just talk about Jordan Patty's start and how his success as, well, actually, Calvin having some technical difficulties, so we'll send it down to Calvin here in the next half inning. Calvin, we'll send it down to you after this. Thank you.
Mosquito Marys, Fairway Financial, Ocean Spray, Seaside Lamont, Rogers Gray.
Eight, 9-1 for the Braves against Eric Razelman. It'll be Zach Agnos, Peter Burns, and Joe Lampe. Agnos, who had the moonshot a night ago, propelled the Braves to their 2-1 victory as Agnos, first pitch swinging, pops it up. In play for the catcher, Tatum Levens. Tosses the mask to the side and makes the catch. Agnos pops out in foul territory for the first out.
Not the first at-bat that Agnos presented with us last night at Chatham, where it was an absolute moonshot. Peter Burns in the batter's box for the first time since his walk-off single right up the middle, and Reeves being able to call that as a Boston College alum myself for the Boston College kid Peter Burns here was a special moment.
Yeah, had to have been really cool.
And
that was awesome.
For those of you who don't know, Pete and I were actually in the same sports writing class this fall semester, and so a shout out to our Professor Golan, who I actually realized that when I tweeted it out, I didn't use AP properly with the way that I used to run. So if you're listening, he would be very disappointed.
Okay, so you caught it yourself, what you're saying.
So I caught it myself.
Okay, I thought you were maybe hinting that he reached out.
No,
and,
no.
Okay, there you go. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter. If you catch it yourself,
But Pete
doesn't
and I
matter.
we both have the AP style book, and it was a tough class, I'll tell you. But so cool to be sitting next to him in class, and then fast forward 9 months, and I'm calling a walk-off for him.
That's pretty neat. That is really neat. As Peter Burns takes one upstairs, 1 and 2. Took a slider, Daniel, and he just sent it right back up the middle. And it was such a special moment. The teammates in the dugout were on the top step. You could feel the energy as Peter Burns is called out on strikes. Good pitch there from Raiselman with the changeup. And 2 down, but you could feel the energy from the dugout. And it almost just felt like it was levitating towards a situation that would eventually evolve into the Braves' 3rd walk-off win of the season. You could feel it almost like you call it a buzz in the air. And it almost felt inevitable. Just this team and how magical they are continuing to come through.
Joe Lampe shows bunt. 0 for 4 last night. 0 for 1 on the day. And there is a buzz about this team. You know, they get behind each other unlike any other team I've seen on the Cape. Even when Peter Burns had his walk-off, these guys were on top of the dugout, you know, banging their helmets, making noise, and really supporting their teammates. And, you know, a lot of guys come down here simply for the opportunity to showcase their talents. And, of course, that is the main point of this league, but they're also here to win it.
Lampe fouls one back to the screen. One and 2 from Raiselman. Fastball inside, and the count runs even to 2 and 2.
Strong winds here blowing out to left field, maybe just hurting these batters, not necessarily blowing out towards the outfield, if anything, just directly to the left. Favoring that left field line that has been quite popular for batters this season.
3-2, Lampe rips one into left field. It's the Braves' second hit of the night. Lampe aboard with 2 down. He got all of that one as the throw gets above the second baseman, said McDermott, but Potts there to back it up. And the always dangerous and speedy Lampe is aboard.
You know me, of course, if Joe Lampe's on base, I always want to send him, especially with 2 outs. I'm not sure if Harvey Shapiro will. However, he did send the batter here in Max Anderson the last time he got on with a base hit back in the first.
We'll see if Anderson wants to ambush a fastball. First pitch, he does. Rips it into left field towards Phillips on a line, and Phillips makes a nice running catch. So Anderson got the fastball. He did ambush it, but a nice catch by Dylan Phillips out in left field. Now back up here in the broadcast booth, Reeves Jackson here with Daniel Coates. But Calvin, I want to send it down to you and ask you about Jordan Patty's success thus far tonight and what's been working for him and how his past success this season has carried into his start tonight with that 5 shutout innings against Katuitt his last time on the mound.
We know Reeves has been great after giving up 2 runs. You know, it runs in his first 3 appearances. KG, how you doing? Giving up runs in his first 3 appearances. He scoreless inning last time, 5 innings against Katuitt, struck out 2. And then tonight, 3 scoreless innings already. A lot of soft contact, getting a lot of left-handed batters out on their front foot. A lot of rollovers to second base. You saw that soft line drive that Colby Thomas was able to grab out there in right field. Ow! Thanks, Joe. And I got some peanut butter crackers now, guys. So all around a good night. Good night for Jordan Patty. Apparently a good night for me because now I got some crackers to eat during this inning break. So thanks, guys. Back to you.
Great report, Calvin. Obviously, Jordan Patty Nick has had a lot of success tonight and has had a lot of success that's carried into the start. 5 shutout innings against Katuah last time. What do you think's been working for him?
I think he works really quick. So I think hitters kind of can't get in a rhythm, can't get in their mental headspace that they want to get into while they're up there. And that's what I really like about him, just working quick, confident. And that's huge. It's a huge part of pitching. I hate when guys stand there for like 20 minutes, kick around the dirt, pick up the rosin. Depending on who you are, if you're Garrett Cole, smear spider tack all over your hands. But we haven't seen any of that in the Cape League.
You're not a Red Sox fan or anything.
Yeah. We haven't seen any of that in the Cape League this year, which is good. But, if you're working quick and confident, hitters really can't get a good read on you.
I think the ability for him to be able to establish his first pitch strike, too. His
Yes.
fastball early in the count. Because Patty's a guy that pitches to contact. He gets strikeouts because his stuff is so good, is what I was talking about. This one is ripped into right. Colby Thomas now has to retreat. Going back, it's over his head and over the fence. Nope, it's off the fence. Looked like it was going to hop over, but regardless, it is a stand-up double for Tatum Levens. It was aboard early.
Dear God, I forgot to bring my pen out here. This is absolutely tragic. We're good. We're using Daniel's pen for the book.
Oh, boy. It's got a little water on it.
What is this kid doing?
It's the sweat from the coffee.
Water park out here.
Oh, my. We have some rain that is now
It's spitting. It's spitting rain.
coming to Doran Park. This was not expected, at least in the afternoon. But some rain starting to spit down here on Doran. Might have to take the precautionary measures to the equipment. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't pick up. Nick, I believe this was your first cameo appearance with the new clean-shaven face. The new look you got. The haircut, it all looks good.
On the
On
video,
the video.
yes, it is.
Or yeah, I guess earlier.
Before the Bravos.
Yeah, before
but
the
for
Bravos.
for the game,
Yeah.
it's my first.
Yeah, how it... That,
It's
I'm,
gotten...
I'm sure there's people at home that were shell-shocked that this is Nick Galley.
It is me, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. For
But,
me, too.
yeah, Reeves. Haha. All right. Anyway, no, yeah, I saw Ken Turner today. He also shaved. And I was walking by him. I go, "You shaved?" And he goes, I did. Trying to be like you." And I was like, "Ken, that's too kind." But I don't know if you want to do this to yourself, man. He had the nice mustache goatee work, and that's a good combo.
0-2 the count here to Brock Wilkin. He struck out his first time.
What is this? What is this weather?
What is this weather? Indeed.
Where did this come from?
I don't know if we can see it on the broadcast. If people at home obviously might not be able to pick up the light rain, but here in the booth, and you see all the fans starting to put their jackets on, it is
It's starting to come
spitting
down
rain.
a
It's starting
little
to raining sideways, almost like that annoying mist we had at Falmouth
yeah,
a few
this
weeks
is
ago.
exactly what this is.
1-2. This one lined to left field. That's a base hit. That'll stop Levens over there at third. Wimmer was quick to the ball, but the Mariners here threatening with first and third. Still nobody out. As our producer Megan Heyer to the rescue, coming through here with the trash bag.
Thank you, Megan.
Megan, you're the best.
I wouldn't say she's the best. We can't hype her up like that.
No,
No, Megan's the
yeah,
best.
Megan's the best.
The GOAT.
Now, we can't hype you up.
Can't hype me up.
No. It might go to your head.
Megan, you're the
We
GOAT.
wouldn't want that to
Megan,
happen.
you're the greatest of all time.
Megan's
I
the
just
GOAT.
want to point
She's
that out.
the GOAT producer.
That I'm complimenting her on air right now. So she cannot give me any flax, any heat when I head back into the press
That's
box.
fair. Nick, I feel like you have first the pitch fouled off there. I feel like you have
What do you feel like I have, Reeves?
you have a real beef or an imaginary beef with everybody.
I do.
On the interns. Whether
every single one of them.
every single one of them.
Every single one. You have to.
You have to. Or
Gotta
else
keep
it's not
people on their
fun.
toes, yeah.
Exactly. Carter Potts steps in. The cleanup hitter, first baseman for the Mariners, an all-star in his own right here for the Eastern Division. 0-1 from Patty. Up and in. It was a conversation that Daniel and I were having on air throughout the first few innings. We'll bring it up to you. It's a great conversation, very timely one to have now that the Braves clinched a playoff spot a night ago. Who would you ideally want to play in the first round in the Western Division? And then ideally, who would you want to play in the championship in the East, considering the top two, Brewster and Harwich, are in the postseason?
Well, ideally, I'd love to play Hyannis.
Oh my gosh! You know
in
what
the
I'm
West.
Yes, I think everybody would love to play Hyannis in the Eastern Division, in the
yeah.
Western Division. Excuse me.
No, but realistically, I would say Falmouth. I mean, if they still kind of have a shot.
Okay.
So
over Wareham.
yeah. I
And
think
why is that?
Falmouth. 4-1 against them this season.
Yeah. Well, 3-0 against the Gaiman.
3-0 against the Gatemen, but with Wareham, I don't know. Those wins haven't been. I mean, the pitching's been there in those wins.
I'll tell you. You finish, and I'll tell you why I have Wareham. But keep going. Keep going.
What, you're going to say the fans, aren't you?
That's exactly what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I know that's what you're going to say because I could hear you when I was in the press box. So,
oh, Nick Alley. Bases loaded now after Potts goes down to first on a walk, and all of a sudden Jordan Petty has found himself in a heap of trouble as Eddie Marco pays a visit. If there's been something that the Braves pitching staff has been so good at this season, it's been able to work out of big jams. That is what they have been so good at. So we'll see how much damage Patty can limit. But back to the playoff talk.
Yeah, no, I'd go Falmouth just because in those Falmouth games, the offense has been there. Falmouth's pitching is not that good.
No, it is not.
It's really not that good. Wareham, Bourne's beat them 3 times now.
Numbers-wise, though, Wareham is second best in the division behind Bourne. They have the second best pitching staff, the second best offense.
Guess what, Reeves? I don't care. I'm playing the Nick Galley mindset card here and saying I'm going Falmouth, baby.
No, I'm saying that's
I
not.
know,
Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
So, like, from a crowd standpoint, it would make more sense to play Wareham. And from the Braves have kind of dominated the game, and other than that game in which they out-hit us 14-7, doubled our hit total, but we still won. That was early in the season, albeit. But statistically speaking, Wareham's a team you do not want to play.
I mean, statistically speaking, Wareham's a team you don't want to play.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you're basing it off the fans, basically.
I was just saying that it'd be easier, say the Braves get a win in Game 1. It's going to be much tougher to close that out at Catuit or at Gov Fuller. At Falmouth than it is at Spillane when they don't get a whole lot of attendance.
I agree with that.
And then if you lose Game 1, it's going to be hard to go get a win and send it back to Doran Park against Catuit or Falmouth.
I agree with that. In this league, though, fans.
Do you not think it plays that big of a role?
I don't think it plays that big a role, honestly, with fans. I mean, you got, in the playoffs, it's kind of, you see a more fan-basey type atmosphere, but
it's a new word.
Yeah, I just kind of, made it up. But it like tonight, I mean, you got, Ricky Bobby and his family on vacation here. I mean, it's a lot of people just vacationing a lot of times. And obviously we love the diehard fans, the people that are tuning in every night. But a lot of times it's people saying, hey, you want to go to a Cape game for the night, do something, get out of the house.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know how much. Certainly it's not like, MLB where you got diehard fans at every game. A lot more casual fans, a lot more people coming from out of town.
That's fair.
Stuff like that. So, I don't know how much of it, especially in Wareham, too. I mean, because you get a lot of people from the South Shore, a lot of people from mainland Massachusetts. I know, I have relatives in Bridgewater that'll go to the Wareham games, and they're not, Gateman fan.
Exactly. They're there to watch baseball.
Yeah, so.
This one is skied into left field. Left center now drifting pretty deep from Dylan Phillips. Wimmer on the way back. That ball's going to bounce and head over the fence for a ground rule double. I don't know if Braylon Wimmer just never saw that ball and wasn't tracking it all the way because he was jogging back there in quite a slow pace, acting like he was going to camp under it and make the catch. Then Wimmer kind of got on his high horse at the end, and that ball landed on the warning track, bounced over. That's costly for the Braves. They trail 2-0. Now the umpires are going to talk this over. That 1,000% hit on the warning track before going over the wall. They'll double check, and I'm sure they'll rule it a ground rule double.
I can never tell out there.
It's hard to tell.
Is there anything? Is it just grass beyond the fence? Because I've never been back there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to bounce that high if it landed over the fence. The grass would not propel it that high. It's the warning track dirt that allows it to skip over.
Okay.
So it should be ruled a ground rule double. We saw this 2 nights ago when Tanner Schobel hit a ball to center field.
Yeah.
Was rightly ruled a ground rule double after it was wrongly ruled a home run. I mean, we would have taken the home run, but they made the correct call. They're going to make the call here. They call it a grand slam. Oh, and Harvey Shapiro is not happy, and that is not a good call. That is simply not a good call. That ball landed on the warning track, and Harvey Shapiro is not happy. He is all over the umpires here and this crew because that is just simply not the correct call. As Brandon Johnson and Ronaldo Cockrum getting the midst of this argument from Harvey Shapiro, and he might not be done until he's sent home from this game. And Harvey Shapiro not happy. I thought clear as day that ball hit on the warning track, but ruled a grand slam, and that is a major blow for the Braves.
That's ridiculous.
Harvey Shapiro giving his peace of mind to Ronaldo Cockrum. And Harvey Shapiro not tossed from this game, but not happy, and I don't blame him. And you feel for Jordan Patty on the mound, a kid that just gave up a ground rule double but called a grand slam.
Jordan Beck.
I don't know what just happened. I really don't. I mean, that's a call you
I mean,
have to stick with the initial call. There's no replay in this league.
There is 3 umpires on the field right now. You're not telling me one of those saw the ball correctly hit the warning track. There's no way the ball could even physically bounce that high hitting the grass the way it did. As here comes Jordan Beck. Regardless, Braves have to live with the call as the rain has started to come down a lot harder as soon as the first pitch to Beck was just thrown.
That is confusing, Reeves. I'm sorry, I'm tweeting.
No, you're good. I'm filling in the scorebook. It's a lot to write in 4 circles that score incorrectly on a grand slam, but regardless, nothing in 2. This is a swing and a miss, strike 3. As Jordan Patty comes back and strikes out Jordan Beck on a good fastball there for the first out of the inning.
DH from Liberty University, number 7, Jake Lazaro.
That's ridiculous, though. I mean,
Unless I just totally missaw, which I don't think I did.
we don't, I couldn't really tell, but if your initial
But
call...
I think if Harvey Shapiro was as mad as he was, we have not seen Harvey Shapiro that fired up about a call this season. And I believe he is seeing the same thing we're seeing up here. Here's Lazaro, DH.
And I'm under the impression you make that call, you call it a ground rule double.
Yes.
You don't switch that. I'm
The
sorry.
only difference, last time Shobles was called a homer, but I think the other 2 umpires got together and said, hey, look, the ball bounced. It clear as day. It went over the
It
fence.
clearly bounced.
Is that one
But,
a ball?
they called that a ground rule double because of that bounce. We just saw the same exact bounce.
Same exact bounce.
I don't get
And
it.
even the trajectory of that ball, the ball was deep. That ball's not getting out of town.
No.
Not left center field. That is deep out there.
Look how Wimmer was playing it, too.
Yeah.
He was tracking the ball, and he clearly tracked it to the warning
Wimmer
track.
felt like he didn't. Usually you see outfielders put their hands up for a ground rule double. Braylon didn't feel the need to because he thought quite obviously they would have seen that ball bounce over
I don't know.
and not sail over the fence for a home run.
I don't know how you make that call. If it's clearly not conclusive, if it's not conclusive, why you do it? Like, if no one clearly saw it, why are you making that call? Why are you changing that call?
That should not have been a change call. 3-2, this one spoiled away, out of play, off of the building of Upper Cape Tech.
I should be an umpire. Why am I writing? I should be an umpire.
Nick,
Be a 2-0 game right now.
Be a
if I was
2-0 game. He strikes out the next hitters, 1 down right now. Obviously, things can be a lot different. Pitch count.
This is outrageous.
It's outrageous. 3-2. That's outside, ball 4. So down to first goes Lazaro. So obviously, regardless of what the call is, not the start Jordan Petty was hoping for tonight.
I can tell you what the call is. Call's outrageous. That's what it is.
The second baseman
I mean,
from Coastal Carolina, number 13, Matt McDermott.
Here's Matt McDermott. So the Mariners leading 4-0. Reminder that the Braves, if they lose this game, would need a Falmouth loss or a tie, and they would win the division here tonight. But if not, we'll have to do it again tomorrow against Orleans, although this game is so far from being over. Braves offense can put up 5 in an inning that we've seen multiple times this year. Patty, a check, might have gotten him, but just got in there. Patty's had a few close pickoff opportunities today. That one at first with Lazaro, who has good speed.
In a game like this, 2 good teams, and they were kind of, offensively quiet first 3 innings. You cannot miss that call like that. I mean, you just can't.
No. Especially against the top team of the top team of the West and the number 2 team in the East. When these games mean so much, more so for Harwich.
Yeah, I know I'm harping on it too, but it's really a bad call.
Not a good call. Especially, there'd be a difference if it was called a home run first and they they didn't
It
change
was
the call
inconclusive.
because it was
I understand.
inconclusive, I would have understood that.
You go
if
with
you
your
call
gut
it a
there.
ground rule double on the field, and the fact that it was a ground rule double, you don't change that call to
No,
a
I
grand slam.
don't get it.
It goes back to the old adage and the old rule of the call on the field. It rings true in any
Yeah,
sport.
just go with your gut.
The NBA now has challenges.
Yep.
The NFL obviously has been doing it for years. Call on the field likely rules, and if it's that close. The MLB, well, there's a whole different replay system that's wrong with them.
Yeah.
But
I just want to know, what was the evidence
Yeah.
they have to overturn a call like that?
Yeah.
That's that substantial. Because there's
Well,
no
even-
evidence.
Well, even Dylan Phillips pulled into second base.
There's no evidence.
He didn't even jog around. They didn't even make the call. But the runner at second, Phillips stopped. The runner at third, and Carter Potts stopped at third.
Yeah,
He's like,
as
okay,
a,
all right, cool,
as a
ground rule
matter
double.
of fact, there's actually a lot of evidence to stick with that call, and none to overturn it. It's actually baffling. I don't understand.
My goodness. Well, unfortunate for the Braves. Maybe without a light of fire under them, though. Here in this game today, 0-2 from Patty, swinging a miss, strike three. Down goes McDermott for the second out of the inning. 2 strikeouts for Patty. Have been the 2 outs in this inning.
Kudos to Jordan Patty, though. I mean, he's bounced back.
He handled it like a
Yeah.
champ, too. And
I'd be out of this game by now.
Oh,
if that
yeah.
was me on the. I'd be long gone. I'm not even kidding. I'd make a scene. I mean, I would be. I would rip up the mound. I'm not even kidding. I'd be digging and I'd rip up the mound. Run up to the plate. I'd be kicking dirt over it. I mean, it'd be ball game for old Mickey G. I mean,
I would pay to see that. I'd pay the price of admission.
what, free?
No, you didn't let me finish. I was about
Okay.
to call a pitch as Lazaro on the move Preisner. I would pay the price of admission to a Red Sox-Yankees game on a Friday night to watch you
Wow.
do that.
It's like $6,000. I mean, my goodness.
Did I mention their student nines?
I mean, for the student nines, you're getting a decent deal.
Oh, my goodness. I
Student
don't think
nines
you
would
could
be-
even get that game.
Yeah, they'd be selling quick. for
Yeah,
that
they'd be
one.
selling quick. 0-1 the count here to the 9-hole hitter, Zach Preisner.
I'm still.
Grand slam by Dylan Phillips, the blow in the inning.
It was a fake one. It was a fake.
It's a
grand
fake
slam.
one. What do we want to call it? Do we want to coin it something? A fake slam? On the move here. Throw down from Peter Burns on the money, and Peter Burns has thrown out his second runner of the day.
It was a bland slam.
A bland
It
slam.
was a bland slam. Galley's got you.
Galley's got me. Lazaro caught stealing. Peter Burns 2 for 2 in caught stealings today as we head to the bottom of the fourth with the Mariners now leading. It's 4-0.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola.
Bottom of the fourth inning. Braves trying to answer the grand slam by Dylan Phillips. As Dalton Rushing leads off here against Eric Raiselman. It was pitched great thus far. First pitch, a changeup, misses away. Well, in the middle of that inning right there, obviously the high home camera didn't show it, but assistant coach Quinn Stebbins and the Braves dugout outraged with that call last half inning. You had everyone jumping on this umpiring crew. If you now go to the Bourne Braves Twitter account, our Joe Sullivan did an excellent job of capturing that play. Credit to Joe, who's done an incredible job on the social media side all season, who just tweeted a picture out of the ball clearly bouncing before the fence. You can see the ball in play.
I'll tell you what, you don't need to light a fire under the Bourne Braves' butts,
No.
because I think now they're going to come out in the second half of this game and just try and light it up. They are mad, and you can see it. Dalton Rushing hacking away here against Raiselman, and I think we might have an offensive explosion on our hands. If I had to guess, I think we would. That is a motivator. It's almost like when a home manager is getting thrown out and it motivates the team.
Yeah,
and really
exactly.
fires
It
them
lights
up.
a fire under their belly. Yeah, 1-2 count to Rushing. Well, the Braves obviously feel cheated out of a call, and they were, rightly so. 1-2 the count. Regardless, though, they have to live with it. They got to move on and play this game. And the count 1-2 here to Rushing. As Raiselman ready to go. And Rushing watches that one miss away. 2-2 the count. So the Braves give up 4 in the top of the fourth. Nice job by Patty, though, to settle down after everything that happened. He struck out 2 and got help from Peter Burns, who continued to do it. I think that might be my first Peter Burns call of the season. That
Yes,
wasn't you.
sir. Well, they come a dime a dozen now.
Yeah, they
huh?
do. It's 3-2 here to Rushing. All it takes to get this Braves offense started is just a base runner. Count full, 3-2. Rushing struck out swinging his first time up in the first. Payoff pitch. Bounced hard over to second. McDermott gobbles it up and throws over to first for out number 1.
Braylon Wimmer, the man in left field, trying to track down the ball. That was called a home run. Looking to revenge that in a way, but I'll tell you what, I haven't seen a crowd at Doran Park this outraged at a call or fired up in the way that they were just a few moments ago. People yelling and even the umpire having to step in.
Yeah, first pitch to Wimmer. Slider called strike. It's the umpiring crew of Ronaldo Cockrum behind the plate, Jim Fonseca at first, and Brandon Johnson over at third. 0-1. That misses down and away. Wind whipping from right to left. Daniel, we had a bit of an unexpected mist shower that hit us in the middle of last half inning.
I know, I was off and I was saying, not again. Oh my God, I go to the bathroom for 1 second and all of a sudden it's raining again in Bourne.
2-1 the count. Changeup misses low and inside there to Braylon Wimmer. Two-one. Called strike, and Wimmer not happy. 2-2.
Yeah, visibly upset about that call. On deck is Tanner Schobel, who had a very similar call and play where he hit one to center field the other night.
Wimmer loses the bat. It almost takes out Tanner Schobel. And Wimmer down on strikes for the second out.
That's the second time Braylon Wimmer's gone down swinging and losing the bat. We saw it last night at Veterans Field.
Yeah, we sure did.
But as I was saying, Tanner Schobel a couple of nights ago smashed one to center field. It almost hit off the shed just by the flagpole. It was called a ground rule double, but it was as close as you can get. Very similar to the one we saw last half inning.
First pitch strike there to Schobel. Raiselman, the All-Star, at a 2.13 ERA coming into this game. Boy, has he been impressive. Braves have struggled with a few starting pitchers this year. Most notably, obviously, Saravo and Scolaro, who were excellent against the Braves. That was the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, 2 pitchers that threw in the latter 2 games. after the Braves jumped on the first starter in McKeon. The first game at Hyannis, that was a few weeks ago. 2-1. Obviously, they got to Jake Brooks, but it wasn't until late. Obviously, Peter Burns, Brooks was no-hitting the Braves through 4 2/3 innings before Peter Burns and Knapcheck and Anderson all paid him visits. 3-1 the count, so Schobel has watched 3 consecutive miss away and leads in the count. 3-1. Tanner, I'm sitting dead right with the fastball right here. We'll see what he does. He is free swinging and fouls it back. Schobel moving up to the 5 spot in the batting order today. So Tanner Schobel, who's mainly been in the 7, 8, or 9 spots. We saw him in the 6 spot a night ago and getting up to the 5 spot. Colby Thomas moves down a spot in the order as Schobel watches that one miss away, ball 4.
281 average on the season. On base percentage for the Virginia Tech kid, improving on a 323 clip that he's coming in with today. And Colby Thomas, the power slugger, who we asked KG who would be one of the guys that you would want in a home run derby. He said Dalton Rushing and Colby Thomas. And
oh, yeah.
It's clear why. He has 3 home runs on the season. All of them going to left field, but as of late, he has been red hot, a bit cooler. We didn't see him last night. He is huge moving forward in this game to kickstart the bottom half of this lineup.
0-1. Well, that's the thing. When Colby Thomas hits them, they're not cheap. He has not had a cheapie in any of the 3 homers he's hit this year. He went dead center to Hyannis and then left center against YD. You had that call, the ball was crushed, and then the walk-off that was long gone down the left field line on a laser beam as he cuts through that.
Colby Thomas and Josh Moylan are 2 players, and 2 batters particularly, who are very similar to me because they're on top of the ball. Colby Thomas has had more luck as far as where it's put. Both of them are seeing the ball really well and hitting the barrel. Joshua Moylan, of course, is just lining out a handful of times each game. He struck out in his first appearance, and Colby Thomas strikes out there.
Colby Thomas down on strikes. That'll end the 4th inning. We head to the 5th here at Doran Park with the Braves trailing 4-0. Ben Etheridge on in relief here for the Bourne Braves in the top of the 5th inning. If you remember, Ben Etheridge came on the other night before the game was put into an hour rain delay. That was against Orleans, so Etheridge, who was pulled from that after getting 2 outs, is on tonight to face 9, 1-2 as I turn things over to Daniel Coates.
Thank you, Reeves. An exciting past 2 innings. The Bourne Braves are down 4 after a so-called home run grand slam from Dylan Phillips that emptied the base path and scored 4 for the Harwich Mariners, who are on the road, facing Ben Etheridge now with an 0-1. That one catches outside with a breaking ball. This is Zach Preisner, the shortstop who had a home run in the last meeting at White House Field, where the Braves were on the road and ended up with a 10-4 victory. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Etheridge's first matchup ends up in his favor with a strikeout, and that is his 13th on the season. And the Southern Miss kid off to a good start. Jordan Patty done after 4 innings. And what is your overall impression of his outing, Reeves?
I thought he pitched great up until that 4th inning. He was getting ahead with first pitch strikes. And then, honestly, as soon as the rain kind of came down, I don't know if that affected Patty or not. He would obviously tell you no, but internally not sure if it did. He kind of lost the hook on things a little bit. It was a leadoff double by Tatum Levens, well struck over the head of Colby Thomas.
0-1 taken between the second baseman and the first baseman, dribbling out to Colby Thomas. A base hit for Prez Kavanaugh. Ben Etheridge was ahead. Prez Kavanaugh responded with a hard-hit ground ball between Zach Agnos and Joshua Moylan. Nothing the infield could do there. The 2-spot hitter, Tatum Levens, now digs in. He doubled back in the 4th, I should say, just a couple innings ago. Bunt. That's going to dribble foul. Tatum Levens was close to a Joe Lampe-esque bunt down the third base line, but it dribbled just out of play. So 0-1 for Ben Etheridge.
Yeah, but I thought Patty, other than that, though, he got ahead with first pitch strikes.
And I'm thinking back, Reeves, to...
Up until that 4th, they just got him.
I'm thinking back to the 27 games that we have already called, and I'm not sure if we've faced a deficit maybe this large. Maybe I'm missing one, but this might be one of the largest deficits we have faced all season. Of course, that's
right.
What it comes with a 21-3-3 record.
You're right. I honestly thought the same thing, but I figured there probably was a game. But now you mention it, I'm not sure. Obviously, we're down 4 to Hyannis.
Correct, right.
But
this might
be
tying it. It might be up
tying
there.
it, yeah.
With Tatum Levens trying to respond to a Prez Kavanaugh base knock with 1 out. Swing and a miss. A great pitch from Etheridge, who just recorded his 13th strikeout. He's throwing strikes. 6 strikes, or 7 I should say, and 0 balls thus far. He's come in relief for Jordan Patty from Central Michigan. First ball of his outing, 1-2. And really, you look up at the scoreboard, only 2 hits for the Braves, and that is not a recipe for a victory here tonight. You need to get the bats going. Last time we saw the bats really pick up in the 9th, but you can't count on that every time. Breaking ball low and outside, 2-2.
Yeah, just 2 hits. Obviously, Raiselman an all-star for a reason. One of the better pitchers in this league, obviously from LSU and the powerhouse SEC, but he's shutting the Braves' bats down tonight with the M's on top.
Knotted at 2. That breaking ball is going to ring him up.
Great call, wow.
A slow call from the home plate umpire, but it goes in favor of Ben Etheridge. Down goes Tatum Levens, 1 for 3 now. Up is the 3-spot hitter Brock Wilkin, who singled back in the 4th. Responded to Levens' double in the 4th, and he scored off of Phillips' grand slam. As Nick called it, what was
A bland
the
slam.
bland slam.
We'll know it as the bland slam game if we don't pull this out. Well, yeah, Wilkin, who singled over the head of Anderson at third. Wilmer did a nice job to get to that ball. And then, after the walk that loaded the bases, we know what happened with Phillips. Some ominous clouds off behind us.
Yeah, it is getting dark here quick. Can never really tell the weather off the canal, though. That pitch low and outside for strike one to Wilkin, who is 1 for 2 on the day. Etheridge continues to stick mostly with that fastball, and he's finding the zone in all of its corners. Etheridge coming in relief. Wilkin facing 2 out, swing and a miss on a breaking ball off speed, 0-2. Beautiful looking pitch there from Etheridge. Who else do you think we should be expecting coming out of the pen tonight?
I would expect Tyler Stewart, big right-hander from Southern Miss. Might get both Southern Miss kids today. I doubt we get Kelsey Ward, who just arrived. But I would expect Tyler Stewart to get an opportunity to pitch in this game here.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Wilkin. And Ben Etheridge gets out with a man on first. We're going to the bottom of the 5th where the Braves need to respond soon enough. But I'm going to send it down first to Calvin. Calvin Raiselman for the Harwich Mariners has done a fabulous job thus far going through 5. We might be seeing him right now for 5, but he's already gone through 4, has let up 0 runs, only 2 hits. What can we be expecting from him as well as this Harwich bullpen moving forward?
Well, Daniel, it'll be very interesting to see how the Mariners try to piece this together, because last night the Mariners got into a little bit of a shootout against Hyannis. 18-16 final last night, so their bullpen is a little bit gassed. And if you remember the last time the Braves played this Mariners team, they scored 6 runs in the 9th inning against that bullpen, so they might be a little bit tired. You got to give all the credit in the world to Eric Raiselman. He's been very good, but this Mariners bullpen could be tired. That could open up the window for the Braves to score some runs.
Welcome to the bottom of the 5th, and I am here with the Bourne Braves team president, Nicole Norkovich, who is also a host mom, and we have quite the game on our hands, 4-0 off of what Nick called the bland slam. We already have social media coverage on it. It was a tough call here just a couple innings ago, and the Harwich Mariners have taken a 4-0 lead, and I have not seen Doran Park this fired up about a call in a while.
No, I haven't seen such a botched call make such an impact on a game, especially when the umpire out by second base signaled one thing and then the home plate umpire overturned or changed the call.
Yeah, it was just a tough call, and not just the play, but also just the process in general. 2-0 to Joshua Moylan. But, Nicole, thank you for coming on, and just talk a little bit about this team and the start that they have had, 21-3-3. I mean, Doran Park hasn't seen success like this in quite a while.
No, this team has gelled, worked together, fun guys that want to play baseball. I heard preseason when there was a group text amongst the players, one of our pitchers said, hey, if we're going to play summer ball, we're going to win it all. And that's what these kids want to do. We've been down, we've come back, we've had walk-off wins, and these kids are all very supportive of each other. We've had some new players come in the last couple weeks, and I've really noticed that the players that have been here from the very beginning are taking them.
Joshua Moylan takes that one to right field. Is it having the distance? No,
that's a real home run. That's a real one.
home
Woo!
run. Joshua Moylan goes to Froggy's Pull in right field and hits his first home run of the season. And that is how a home run should look here at Doran Park. 4-1, and the Braves have responded. How about that? That is a home run right there.
That one actually went over the yellow fence without bouncing.
Right towards the Harwich Mariners bullpen. 4-1, Joshua Moylan exploding here in the bottom of the fifth. And you can see the excitement. Josh Moylan's a guy who still was trying to get his footing as far as in the batter's box and having trouble getting the bat on the ball. He struggled with the strikeout, but that one he just crushed to right field.
I think Zach's been in and out of the lineup, in and out of the field, so it's hard to get real comfortable. But that was a legit home run here at Doran Park, so it's great to see. Hopefully that'll light a spark on the Braves for the rest of the game.
The ECU
And
kid
here
now
we
hit.
go.
Here we go. Could we see a rally starting? It's something that, we're seeing here in this half inning. Zach Agnos will go down to first. Something that we're seeing in this half inning, and he beats it on down the line, is just the uncanny way that this team has responded to adversity. It seems that their best performances are when their backs are against the wall. We saw that a few days ago at White House Field as this team, it was 4-4 going into the top of the ninth, and they responded with 6 runs and left White House Field with a 10-4 victory as Peter
How
Burns.
about that right there? Let's
There
go.
we go. Peter Burns sends one right back to where he hit a walk-off a couple of nights ago against the Orleans Firebirds.
I'd say Burns' walk-off was probably my favorite. I mean, the other two were home runs, but Pete has struggled offensively. He's lights out behind the plate, and if I was another team, I would never run on him. But his walk-off the other night was such a great thing to see.
Oh, it was awesome. And I don't know if I have ever told you this, but I told Reeves and Nick and our entire broadcast crew, but Peter Burns was in my sports writing class, my fall semester at Boston College, and I sat
Did you
next
help
to
him
him.
out?
I tried to. I tried my best. Pete was, if anything, Pete might have been the one to help me out, but he, going from there into this season, 9 months forward, and for a kid that I, coming in, didn't know was on the baseball team at BC, for me to be broadcasting his final, and what he said was his first walk-off hit was something really special. And Pete is what we call the heart and soul of this team, because you could see in the dugout all the guys were fired up and getting behind him. And I agree, Caden Wallace's walk-off as well as Colby Thomas's was great, but Peter Burns is a guy who has
He's our
struggled at the
nine-hole
plate.
hitter. Nine-hole hitter.
And Reeves and I were actually talking before he got up, saying that maybe we should think about a pinch hitter, and we were actually having the conversation who was going to step in for Peter Burns, but boy, did he prove us wrong. And a kid who has been getting back to his old ways, Joe Lampy.
Is he going to drop a bunt down?
Whose host mom is sitting right next to me.
Less than 2, man on first and second?
I think he might. Stepping off.
Burns actually stayed with us in 2019. He's a great kid. He actually played a hockey player, so makes him tough behind the plate.
From Reading, Mass, showing bunt, Joe Lampy pulls back, but it's a college strike. And Nicole, you have Joe Lampy under your roof this summer. How has that been, and how have the personalities of this team really gelled?
Joe's probably one of the mellowest, chillest kids on this team. I think he keeps everybody kind of level-headed. Whether he goes 2 for 3 or he struggles a little at the plate, he's always shows up and works hard every day.
The bunt is laid down. Will Joe Lampy beat it out?
Yes, he will.
They
yes,
call
he
him
will.
safe. A proud host mom to my right, Joe Lampy, 2 for 3 on the day. Back to his productive ways, and something that you had to keep an eye on was his movement throughout the lineup. He was always at that one spot. He's at the one spot again after Christian Knapczyk has an off day, and he is exploding here tonight and taking advantage of his opportunity.
I'll tell you, Joe takes advantage of everything he can. He's at the gym every day. He worked out a little earlier today. He's a great kid. We have dinner together every day. They watched, the College World Series when he first got here. But he's here to play baseball, and it's great to see. We got bases loaded, no outs. Let's do something here.
Let's do something is right. 4-1, bases loaded. Max Anderson leading the way at third, or I should say at the plate. Zach Agnos at third. He takes a jump. Behind him, Peter Burns, and behind him, Joe Lampy. Oh, a rip, and that one catches Harvey Shapiro down the third base line.
I'll tell you, as far as Harvey, I mean, Harvey's been here forever, and I've been here 11 years, and I haven't seen Harvey challenge too many calls and be so forthright about it. So I just think the fact that the call was wrong and it made such a difference so far in the game, I hope the Braves come back and win this one.
I think that was almost a spark that the Braves didn't necessarily need, but it's going to propel them as far through this game. And I haven't seen a team this fired up behind a call and a manager as the guys in the dugout. And Harvey Shapiro, I mean, he was up in the umpires' faces, as he should be. I mean, that was a botched call, like you said. 0-1. Anderson, which is his second strike. A top 5 batter in average in the Cape League with no outs in a bases-loaded situation in the bottom of the 5th. Nicole, I think this is an opportunity here where we've seen the Braves put up so many runs in certain rallies. That is just missing outside, 1 and 2. And, you know, some crooked numbers which have really propelled the Braves to their multiple victories. And usually we're not in this spot of trying to come back 4-1.
No, and there's been a lot of crooked numbers across the Cape League, and I feel like
underhanded right to the catcher.
all right, that's only the first out. There's been a lot of crooked, like you said, numbers, crooked scores across the Cape League, and I feel like the Braves haven't necessarily had a lot of them. We've had a lot of close wins. We did put up those 6 runs against Harwich, but I think this team doesn't quit. This team has no quit in it. We've gone to 2 outs, 2 strikes, bottom of the 9th, and won it. So
multiple times
there's
now.
a lot of outs. There's a lot of baseball left to play.
Dalton Rushing is just the man I would want at the plate with bases loaded. A big swing and a miss off a Raiselman fastball. Tatum Levens with the force out at home off a chopper from Max Anderson. This is Raiselman's 5th inning, and we had some rain here. The last time we had rain, Zach Agnos and Christian Knapczyk took over the broadcast booth, and they were asking each other, what's a player that you wouldn't want your daughter to date, and just kind of gives you an idea of these guys off the field, as that's a close call on the inside to Dalton Rushing.
I think Dalton Rushing would be someone I'd like to go out on the town with.
Yeah,
It'd be one fun night.
Well, the Louisville kids seem to be having a good time down here. You know, they're always in front of the camera and trying to create content. A breaking ball chopped foul down the first base line.
They certainly keep the spirit up, the spirit high. Dalton made a great catch to end the game the other day, and I said to him, nice catch. And he said, if I sluggish at the plate, you got to contribute on the field. They know that, you know, baseball's a game, and it's a game of chances, and there's a lot of opportunities. So you got to take advantage of them as much as you can.
In a lineup that has really stayed consistent, obviously there have been some changes, but a lot of these guys who are producing so well have been here from day one, showing up in Bourne and producing ever since. Hard hit ground ball, it hits Agnos. It looks like in foul territory. He's going to have to walk it off. Poor Zach Agnos.
That's Peter Burns.
Oh, Peter Burns,
That's
I should
Burnsy.
say.
That's the catcher. He can rub it out. He'll be fine.
Well, like you said, he's a hockey player.
He's a hockey
tough.
player. That was, gosh, we've got Dalton just had a foul ball to first base and a foul base to the third base side. Let's hope he
can straighten one out.
Gets one out of the infield.
Raiselman is ahead, 0-2.
I mean, we've had a lot of our infielders here since day one. And a unique thing this season is they had a full week of practice. And that could get kind of tedious. But I think they fed off it each day. You know, practice, they go to breakfast together, maybe grab lunch together. Then Dalton and a lot of the Louisville kids are coaching the clinics. They're now like cult heroes in the town of Bourne. I mean, I was at the beach the other day, and these kids were talking about who their favorite Braves player is, you know, who their best coach is. So these kids are just putting in the time, and they love to be here. So I think they're going with that. If we're going to play summer ball, we're going to win it all. So,
and not just coming down here and playing for themselves, but they realize that the best way to create traction, to create opportunities for them, is to really gel and succeed as a team, not necessarily as an individual, and I think that has been a real key to their success throughout this entire season.
Well, something I've noticed in the late innings in recent games is if we have a pitching change or someone coming in or someone struggling a little, you hear the middle infielders really cheering for the pitchers, picking those pitchers up.
1-2. 2-2 after a Raiselman fastball low and inside by the feet of Dalton Rushing, who's coming into this game is batting .298. Just last week, he was Cape Cod Player of the Week. He has 4 home runs and 16 RBIs, 0 for 2 on the day. But what a better opportunity to right the ship than right now. Bases loaded, led by Peter Burns at third. 2-2, ground ball right to first. A double play ball potentially. Dalton Rushing. There goes Tanner Schobel. Oh, Joe Lampe is caught at home in a tough
Harvey's
play. Harvey might not have agreed with that one, but a double play, and the Braves only get 1 run across the board. 4-1. Nicole, thank you so much for coming on. It was an absolute pleasure, and if you had to predict, these guys are fired up for this game. You can tell, and after stranding 3 I should say, on the base path, I think we're still very much in this game and could still very much make a comeback like we did last time at White House Field.
Oh, I certainly think we're very much in this game, and we'll play to the very last out. We've got local fans, and these fans are invested, and I think the fans are a little riled up and ready to see some more Bourne Braves baseball that hopefully ends with a win. So thanks for having me on tonight.
Of course. Nicole Norkovich, the president of the Bourne Braves. We'll be back in just a few moments. 4-1 at Durham Park.
Also launch for Wolves.
Back here in the top of the 6th, Carter Potts to start things off in a 4-2 game. The Braves have come back. Missing outside, Joe Lampe taking advantage.
Yeah, Braves getting that big second run. Obviously, Peter Burns came across before Joe tried to do it himself and score that 3rd run, but you'll take an inning where you can get 2 runs. You knock off 2 on the lead. You cut it in half, 4-2, and now the Braves, obviously, this game within much more striking distance than it was being down 4-0.
Well, apologies, I said 4-1. It's actually 4-2 after a solo shot from Josh Moylan. This is still Etheridge on the mound. The Southern Miss kid, 3 balls in a row to Carter Potts. Carter Potts on the day is 0 for 1. He scored off a walk back in the 4th. There you go, Etheridge finding the zone. But a top of the 6th here after a bottom 5 that was action-packed.
Hectic. It was fun being over in the press box with Darren, with Nick, with Bob, with Will, with Mike, with Megan. That was fun. It was good for a little change of action.
A 5-pitch walk, and there goes Potts with his 2nd walk of the game.
But how about Josh Moylan? Nobody on this team deserves that home run more than Josh. For how many times he has hit the ball hard over the course of him fixing a little thing in his swing and trying to get back on track. He's hit the ball hard over the course of the past week, nothing to show for it, and then finally gets one over the right field fence. The 360 sign out there, and out there was Prez Kavanaugh, who did a flip over the fence. But Josh Moylan, well-deserved for him, could not be happier for Josh.
That could boost his confidence for sure. He's dealing with Potts at first. 0-1. Now 1-1 to Dylan Phillips, who had what Nick Galley has coined the bland slam.
Yeah, definitely one of the more controversial moments in the game here thus far and of the season. Twitter's blowing up right now. It's a storm.
1-1. This one taken high, foul just by the lights towards the backstop. 1-2. Again, I think it's important for Etheridge and this defense to get out of these innings quick and allow rhythm to start going through this lineup. We saw some really good hitting there, especially from Joshua Moylan. That's his first home run of the season, and most certainly the deepest ball we've seen from him. I mean, he crushed that thing. And
crushed.
Something that we were talking about with Josh Moylan is that he kind of seemed hesitant going towards the ball. He was making good contact, but he wasn't fully going after it, and he went right after that pitch.
Yeah, big way to start that inning with a leadoff solo shot over to the right field fence.
2-2. Potts on first. The delivery outside, and Etheridge was ahead, now struggling to find the zone. Full count, and in order to stay in this game, really have to hold stout on defense with a 4-2 score here in the top of the sixth in Bourne. A win or a tie here tonight would clinch us the top spot in the West Division. Swing in, a miss. Potts will stay at first, and Phillips will head back to the dugout. Etheridge with another strikeout.
Yeah, beautiful pitch there from Ben. Good fastball outer half with some life to it and got Phillips to swing through it. Not sure if he would have taken that if it would have been ball four or not. Too close to take, though, for Phillips, and Etheridge gets a swing and a miss.
Bland slam or grand sham?
Yeah, Darren Weeks.
Darren Weeks just coined.
You know what? Sorry, Nick Galley. Grand sham is the way to go.
I think that might be
That's
by
better than
far the
bland
better
slam.
one.
Yeah. Sorry, Nick. If you can hear me through the window, not good.
Well, we'll hear you on the monitor, that's for sure. 1-0, one out. Top six, the Mariners with a controversial call, and they call a balk here on Ben Etheridge.
Yeah, sure do. Not sure. Wasn't exactly looking there, but Nick, you got to say something? Here you go.
The fact that Darren just came out here and coined a whole new term is disgusting. It's outrageous. And, you know, I don't know how much longer I can be with this organization if the GM is just going to backstab me like this.
Oh, my gosh. The drama queen himself, Nick Galley.
The unpaid intern putting up a fight. 1-0.
That's too funny. Nick Galley. Love that kid.
Well, 2-0 with one out. Jordan Beck at the plate. And we will also take Twitter suggestions as far as what to call that play.
Yeah.
That is the only scoring situation that the Harwich Mariners have had tonight.
You got bland slam, grand sham. If you think of anything else, go to the old tweeter machine. Hit us up at Bourne Braves.
2-1 with one out. The fans have held steady here after.
Great crowd tonight. Just an awesome crowd here for a
Especially
Sunday night.
On a Sunday night after battling the mist that came through. I mean, a nice night has to have rain now. I just have accepted that.
Yeah, we've accepted that. Maybe not next week, but we'll see.
Hopefully not. I mean, last night at Chatham was absolutely gorgeous.
Perfect night.
2-1 Potts at second, just missing outside. Boy, a tight call there.
Yeah, just missed away. That was a good call there from Cochran behind the plate. Obviously, Pete trying to come back and frame it a bit. 3-1 here, though.
How about Peter Burns behind the plate, catching two tonight?
And that rip to center.
I can't tell if that's just Peter Burns being so good with the stand-up throw or these Harwich Mariners being slow base runners. A chopper towards Schobel. He looks off the man at second, Potts, and gets the man at first for out number 2.
Yeah, good play there by Tanner, deep in the hole at short, but made a nice play. And obviously, you know how well of a arm he's got over there at the shortstop position. Strong throw over to Josh Moylan.
The DH from Liberty University, number 7, Jake Lazaro.
Jake Lazaro looks like the final hope. He has a man in Potts in scoring position. 4-2. The Braves have battled back. This game almost seems eerily opposite to the game that we saw at White House
you're
Field.
so right. Braves led 4-0, chipping away.
Hopefully it doesn't end the opposite way.
Yes, exactly. We'd love another explosion offensively, an outburst at the end of the game to take a big lead.
6 runs in the home half in the 9th would not be an unwelcomed sight. 1-0, though, to Etheridge, who has found the strike zone thus far. Coming in for Jordan Patty, who really had a good run and a good start up until the top of the 4th after letting up the supposed grand slam to Phillips. 2-0 here.
Well, if we score 6 in the bottom of the 9th, that means we'd be likely trailing by 5. So let's hope we keep it closer and then maybe can battle back and take the lead sometime in the next 2 or 3 innings. And then, I don't know, do we get another look at Eric Adler if the Braves have a close one tonight? Maybe so. Obviously, that's all given if the Braves can come back and take this lead before the bottom of the 9th inning comes around. We know how the Braves love to be dramatic, though. They love the walk-off.
Well, we saw Cafaro in the 9th inning last night, so Fairfield pitchers began and ended that game at Veterans Field. A 3-0 breaking ball that missed on the inside, and Etheridge again is faced with a pitch that needs to hit the zone, or else Lazaro will take over. First on deck is Matt McDermott, the second baseman who struck out twice tonight. 3-0. That one drifts outside. Men on first and second. This top 6 has just been elongated with 2 outs.
Now batting, the second baseman.
Here's McDermott. Obviously, I think Ben wanted the righty versus righty matchup. Obviously, wasn't feeling the righty-lefty, and then gets a favorable matchup here with McDermott, who has struck out twice today.
McDermott with 2 outs. He struck out twice. Once in the 3rd, once in the 4th. Good pitch to start him off with, 0-1.
And you got the dark clouds out in left field. You can see that on the monitor at home. It is dark and ominous out towards left. The clouds just passing through for the most part.
0-1, this one taken. It's drifting foul and deep for strike number 2. I'll tell you what, if you're out there in left field, Braylon Wimmer or any other opposing outfielder, you need to be on your toes, because that is the second home run for Joshua that we've seen here at Dorham Park that Joshua Moylan hit. That was towards Froggy's pull out in right field. Everything else, even those other deep balls, the ground rule doubles, they've been slapped to left center, left field, down the left field line. That one just missing for McDermott. Swing and a miss on the 0-2. Ben Etheridge strands a man on first and second for the Harwich Mariners. 4-2. The Braves still have work to do at home, trailing by 2. Braylon Wimmer at the plate. The man in left for the Braves defensively. That one goes behind him. Boy, oh boy. About as far outside, or inside I should say, as you can get. Tanner Schobel on deck. The 1-0. 2-0. Raiselman on for the 6th inning in a row. The starter tonight for the Mariners. He's only let up 5 hits and 2 runs against the Braves. 2-0. This one taken to center field. There is Beck on the run. He has it just before the warning track for out number 1. A good piece of hitting, though, by Braylon Wimmer. He got all of it, but it was right towards Beck.
Yeah, now 81 pitches for Raiselman. Getting up there in pitch count, but obviously you want to extend your pitchers as much as you can before postseason play, due to the fact that obviously you're going to want your guys going deep into the games in the postseason. You're going to need them to. So Raiselman getting stretched out here, although he was roughed up last inning, looking for a clean inning after shutting out the Braves through the first 4.
Schobel 0 for 1 with a walk back in the 4th. He fouls one off against Raiselman, who I would say for 6 innings, 82 pitches at the moment is fairly low.
Yeah, pretty efficient.
0-1, ripped towards the third baseman, backhanded, fielded cleanly, and gunned over 2 Potts. A brilliant play from Wilkin at third.
And that's played by Brock. He was playing even with the bag in case Schobel bunted. Ripped over there, made a nice backhand stab, and easy throw onto first base.
Colby Thomas steps in with 2 quick outs in the bottom of the 6th. He popped up to the shortstop and struck out. 0 for 2 on the day. He takes that one just upstairs by his eye line. The Mercer Bear now ahead 2-0. Josh Moylan with a solo shot an inning ago on deck. Three pitches and 3 balls. Have to imagine Thomas is going to lay this one off. What do you think, Reeves?
Yeah, I think so too. 3-0, 2 down, bottom 6. Need runners on base.
As expected, that one is a looking strike from Colby Thomas. A 3-1 count with 2 outs. Raiselman is still on the mound. An opportunity tonight for the Braves to clinch the top spot in the West. Full count now. A nice pitch by Raiselman from LSU, an SEC program that we have seen many SEC players. That one slapped into right center. It's going to get down for a base hit. Will he go 2? He will. No throw just yet from the right fielder. He's going to turn and go to 3. There's the slide, and Colby Thomas, a 2-out triple to right center that leaks all the way towards the right field wall. Beck and Kavanaugh had trouble fielding it, and Colby Thomas took advantage, making it all the way to third.
Boy, it's fun watching Colby run. I tell you what, I thought he had 3 out of the gates, and he sure did. He could have done it standing up, but obviously did it with the head first slide. And now Josh Moylan, who had that solo homer the last time, see if he can stay hot and get the Braves another run.
Moylan with a prime opportunity in a 2-run game where the Braves trail. Oh, a fastball catching just on the corner high. Nice pitch. 0-1, Colby Thomas down the third base line. He stands at the ready, a breaking ball way outside, 1-1. Joshua Moylan, I mean, that one was an absolute bomb down the right field line at the 300 mark. And well past that, Kavanaugh went feet up over the fence. 1-2 now.
Nice changeup there from Raiselman. Moylan's had trouble with that pitch this year. That changeup from opposing right-handers. Moving down and away.
1-2, 2 outs. This one taken foul
Yeah, nice job by Josh to spoil that tough fastball. Obviously, when you're sitting fastball but adjusting to the off-speed pitch, obviously that changeup's still on the forefront of your mind. It's just what you were throwing. It's the pitch you struggle with, so Moylan had to adjust late there. Might get that changeup again here, I'm thinking.
1-2.
He does.
Swing and a miss. Joshua Moylan cannot add to his solo home run. An inning ago, and Colby Thomas is left at third. 4-2 in this intense game at Doran Park. Top of the 7th we go, and we might see some late night dramatics coming soon enough. Zach Preisner from Notre Dame at the top of the order in the top of the 7th, and Reeves will take you through that.
Thank you, Daniel. 9-1-2 here for the Mariners. Top 7 against Ben Etheridge. Back out there, first pitch fastball misses high. The Braves with 2 runs in that bottom of the 5th inning, the Moylan homer, and the fielder's choice by Dalton Rushing that resulted in an RBI. And fouled back there from Preisner. Braves trying to come back once again late in the night, as they so often have here at Doran Park. Love playing the comeback role. And when they come to the plate next inning, they'll have Agnos, Burns, and Lampy. And this one ripped into left center field. Lampy on his horse, not going to get it. That's going to bounce and roll to the wall. Lampy picks it up. Preisner thinking about 3. Turns on the Jets and will make it in there standing up, a leadoff triple.
Yeah, something went wrong out there at the fence. Not sure if it was caught under it or if Joe Lampy just couldn't get a grip on it, especially with all the water we've had on the grass. Joe Lampy took his time and was struggling to get that ball up, and that would allowing Preisner to make it all the way to third.
So a Harwich offense that has looked quite capable here tonight. You can see why they are the best in the league when it comes to runs scored. Just hitting in the gaps in the power alleys. Line to line, too, as the infield draws in for the Braves. A little more than they usually do. They usually come in a little higher on the dirt. Now they back up. Middle infield, Agnos and Schobel just a bit. So about halfway now. As Eddie Marco going to pay a visit here to Ben Etheridge. Braves having some action now down in the bullpen. Not sure exactly who is down there. I'll try to get Calvin Christopher to let us know as soon as he finds out. What have we seen so far from Ben Etheridge, Daniel?
He's sticking with mainly the fastball. He's had stints where he hasn't been able to find the zone, and when it has been found, I mean, Preisner just put an absolute beating on that ball, but he's come in and pitched well and has given the Braves an opportunity to come back in this game. Obviously now Preisner is threatening, but I have seen really only good stuff from Ben Etheridge here. He's working around the count. He's switching it up, and I think that we just saw the last of him.
Well, Eddie Marco actually makes the pitching change this time. Rare to see that. Harvey Shapiro does not make the change, but it's Eddie Marco. So a rare occasion there, but Ben Etheridge is done. It appears to be Dylan Bowers on for the Braves in the top of the 7th. So after a leadoff triple, that ends Ben Etheridge's night. It is the New Virginia transfer. Will be a Cavalier. Next year, Dylan Bowers, transferring from Northern Colorado to the ACC
From the University of Virginia, number 17, Dylan Bowers.
powerhouse. As Virginia was in the College World Series this year, Dylan Bowers 1-0, has not allowed a run this season. He has been an excellent addition in the middle of the season for the Braves bullpen. 5 innings, 9 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 4 hits. Bowers on to try to leave this runner at third, if at all possible. He's got the top of the order in Prez Kavanaugh, one of the tougher foes to do it against. 0-1 the count.
Yeah, the new UVA commit making that big transition to the ACC.
Ripped and fair inside the first base line. Down the right field line it goes. Colby Thomas up. We're going to have a play at second. His throw offline as it heads toward Anderson at third. Prez Kavanaugh, an RBI double and back-to-back extra base hits have the Mariners on the board in the 7th.
Yeah, wayward throw from Colby Thomas. I'm not sure if it would have got him in time, and Joshua Moylan just looked shell-shocked over there at first, not thinking that was going to keep inside the line, and that's going to score another for the Mariners, 5-2.
Obviously nothing Moylan could have done about that with the infield playing in as Tatum Levin steps in. Levin's on the day, 1 for 3, a double, a run scored, a strikeout, and a flyout to right field. The Braves trailing by 3 now, 5-2 the score. As this one skied into center field. Joe Lampe goes a few steps back, might have a play at third. Kavanaugh's going to tag. Lampe's throw will be late as Kavanaugh in the third. So a fly out to center for Levins. But tagging up there is Kavanaugh, runner at third and 1 down.
Only the first out, and just like that, another Harwich Mariner closer to crossing home plate. And again, just shows that even the shallowest fly balls here are going to continue to drift with the wind out in center field. If you can't see in the middle of the screen, the flag is whipping out there, and what it seemed like a stormy atmosphere, but we haven't gotten any rain even though the dark clouds are above us.
Here's Brock Wilkin. Breaking ball misses high.
Something that Bauer has needed to work on is his accuracy with the breaking ball. It's been all over the place. The last time we saw him, he was actually quite good with it.
Yeah. That was before that, yeah, you're right. Definitely struggled.
It was against Wareham, the one that I'm thinking of, but a 1-0 opportunity. Now 1-1, and that fastball, the reason why he was added is just the pure size and velocity coming off of that fastball that we see there, and that's what the Virginia Cavaliers have also seen from him.
1-1. Braves trying to eliminate a 6th run from scoring. As of now, they'll have to battle back down by 3 over the course of their final 3 appearances at the plate. But if the Braves bats are unable to get it going, staring their 4th loss in the face. Head on, 2-1. Wilkin cuts through it. Healthy fastball from Bowers, who sits in the low 90s.
Wish we had the radar gun on that one. That is about as fast a fastball as I have seen from Dylan Bowers.
Wilkin trying to get the 6th run across. 2-2. Sends this one high and deep to left center. Wimmer back. That one's going to sail. A 2-run homer, and Brock Wilkin continues his great hitting of late. And the Mariners had run 6 and 7 and lead by 5.
An absolute bomb from Brock Wilkin. I mean, that was gone the second he hit it. An absolute no-doubter, and Bowers now has given up 3. No signs of real activity in the bullpen just yet. I'm assuming this is Bowers to take home.
One of those going to Ben Etheridge, so he ends his night with 1 run. And 2 getting charged to Dylan Bowers, the double by Prez Kavanaugh, the home run by Brock Wilkin. And rarely have the Braves, maybe not even, we'll have to go back and check. I don't know if the Braves have even trailed by 5 runs at any point this year. That one cut on and fouled off there, 0-2 the count.
This is rare territory for the Braves, and I think even if it results in a potential loss, it's going to be a learning experience because we haven't seen a team jump all over our pitchers like we have tonight with the Mariners. I mean, a grand slam, a second home run just then by Wilkin. I'm interested to see how they're going to respond in kind to a 5-run deficit.
Well, keeping tabs on the Falmouth Commodores, obviously a loss or a tie for them would still give the Braves the division crown. So it could end up being a bittersweet night. It's 4-4 between the Anglers and the Commodores in the game of the night for the CCBL over at Gov Fuller Field. So needing Chatham to pull that one out. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Down goes Carter Potts for the second out. In other games, the Wareham Gatemen hosting the Catuit Kettleers. And Wareham leading Catuit 1-0 in the top of the 7th inning. Obviously, second place on the line in our division having major implications. And the other game going on with Hyannis and Orleans. There's this one ripped over to second. Agnos goes to his left. Pops it up into his hand and throws over to Josh Moylan. But the Mariners score 3 times. The big blow coming on the Brock Wilkin 2-run homer. It's time to stretch at Dorn with the Mariners leading 7-2. Simon on for the Mariners. First look at a relief pitcher today after Raiselman pretty much dazzled through 6 solid innings. Only allowed 2 runs, that 1 inning that got to him. And the Braves will have their 8, 9, and 1 hitters, Zach Agnos, Peter Burns, and Joe Lampe. As Simon comes in, right-hander from Notre Dame.
Yeah, coming in with a 1.8 ERA, 1.0 record. On the year, he has 12 strikeouts as opposed to 6 batters walked.
1-1 at Agnos with the sword swing there, and it's 1-2. Liam Simon, 6'4", 225-pounder. And Agnos down on strikes. Just not the Braves' night on the mound and at the plate.
Well, here comes Peter Burns, the hero from 2 nights ago. Peter Burns singled back when I had Nicole on, and it was almost an exact replica of what happened.
Yeah, just sent it right up the middle.
On Friday night.
I believe he did it on a fastball this time. As that one pops out of the glove of Levens, 1-0. Some mist starting to fall again. Braves with back-to-back road games as Burns sends it away. A start time of 7 o'clock tomorrow night at Orleans.
And then 4:30 against Katuitt, which is the earliest game that we have had all season, and that's just because Lowell Park without the lights.
Yeah, so and obviously later in the summer, after that peak time of around 8:15 when the sun starts to set, now dropping back to about 8:05, so trying to preserve daylight. And Brewster getting started their games around 4 o'clock when Brewster plays at home now, and Katuitt at 4:30. So Katuitt just slightly later. That is our last visit to Lowell Park, at least in the regular season. 3-1. A called strike. Peter Burns didn't agree.
Wow.
Pete apologizes to the home plate umpire. Didn't mean to show him up and says his apologies. That is a class act of a player. If I tell you there's anyone, it's Peter Burns. That's the way to do it right there if you're watching at home. Did he go? Check to third, and yes, Peter Burns did go. So he is down on strikes. Peter went about halfway down the first baseline. At least tried to sell the call. Not sure if he went or not. It was close. 2 down.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that's as close as they get. I actually thought giving the umpire a little nod of respect would have paid off.
Might have flipped the scale, but
definitely didn't. We're getting some tough calls here tonight.
There's Joe. He takes a strike. Well, Henschel put it up as a ball initially. I'll have to change that. Excuse me, Mike Skinnion.
Joe Lampe, 2 for 3 today, and Nicole said he's one of the hardest working kids. Nicole is Joe's host mom for the summer and the Arizona State kid. Actually, Nicole's son going to Arizona State, so it'll be nice for Joe maybe to give him the lay of the land and have some sort of role model there. But he says he's one of the hardest working kids that there is. He was at the gym early almost every day, getting in his reps, and also takes the time to lead some clinics here at Dorn Park before these games.
Well, I would like to give a special shout-out tonight to Donna Skinnion. A big happy birthday to her. Michael Skinnion's mom, our awesome scoreboard director here with the Braves, runs the graphic on the telecast as well. And a big happy birthday to Michael's mom, Donna. And glad you're watching the broadcast tonight and have all season for an excellent Bourne Braves team. 3-2 the count here to Lampe as he sends this one foul down the left field line. We'll do it again at 3-2. The Braves with 6 hits tonight compared to Harwich's 8. 1 error for the Bravos. The big difference, obviously, the grand slam and the 2-run homer. Brett Phillips, the big one, and Brock Wilkin, the 2-run shot last half inning. The Braves get a 1-game bereave against the Kettleers on Tuesday before they get right back to the Eastern Division with YD and Brewster Wednesday and Friday. As that breaking ball takes care of Lampy. No argument from Joe. And a beautiful inning there from Liam Simon as we head to the top of the 8th with the Mariners leading by 5. Well, Dylan Bowers back on the mound, top of the 8th, joined again by Nick Galley. Nick, welcome back. Jordan Beck leads us off.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I mean,
let's hope the inning
the
isn't
rain's
as
gone.
long
Yeah,
as the last
let's hope
time.
not. Let's hope not.
That one called strike from Bowers, the New Virginia Cavalier.
Yeah, good for him. Honestly, I mean, great program over at Virginia. Really excited to see what he's going to do out there. Really happy for him on the transfer. He's seemed really excited about it, as you'd expect.
Nick, stop
It's-
bringing
oh
the
my
rain.
God, it's
Stop
raining.
it. Every time. That's twice that you have brought the
What?
rain.
Yeah, that's on me.
Nick.
That's on me, man. That's on me. I'll take
All right.
take the blame.
You're
I'll
taking
take the blame.
That's all that matters. But yeah, no, back to Bowers. Back to real talk. Dylan Bowers, the program going from Northern Colorado to Virginia, it's a big step up.
Huge step up. I mean, yeah.
But he
it's-
deserves it. Obviously,
Oh,
he's in
no
this league
doubt.
for a reason. He's pitched fantastic. Obviously, allowing his first 2 runs on the Wilkin 2-run shot that scored Kavanaugh.
Yeah, it happens, you know.
But yeah, just like Eric Adler, you're not going to be perfect.
Yeah, you can't be perfect in this league. You can try as much as you want, but at some point, someone's going to get a hold of you, and it happens. But it just matters how you bounce back, you know. And we saw that with Cole Chudoba last night. People got a hold of him the other night, came back last night, and looked fantastic. Provided some real solid relief.
Called strike 3 on the volunteer Jordan Beck. So a little ACC on SEC crime for the first out.
Now batting, the DH from Liberty University, number 7.
Here is
Man.
Jake Lazaro. Twitter blowing up?
No, not really. I mean, a little bit. I mean, the Josh Moylan home run, doing well. But go back to that, since I didn't get a chance to chime in on that. I am so happy for Josh Moylan.
So happy.
I mean, you know that's got to give him a confidence boost. He hit 6 this past spring at ECU. You knew he had it in him. I mean, the kid hit 310 at ECU.
Yeah.
So you knew he was going to come around at some point. So that was great to see.
Nothing and 1 called strike, inner half. We were talking about Josh. If there's one thing that has been his kryptonite this year, it's been that changeup from right-handed hitters.
Yeah.
But it was
Right-handed pitchers?
Right-handed
Yes,
pitchers.
yes,
I'm
yes.
so sorry. Yes,
You should
right-handed
be
pitchers.
so sorry. I mean, we hold ourselves to high standards on this broadcast. I mean,
Nick, you want to take it over play-by-play?
oh, of course, yeah.
No, but
Reeves Jackson.
Oh my gosh. 1-2 fouled away. I was about to say that but it was so great to see Josh connect on that fastball and
It
just
was.
drive it
Oh,
over the
ripped.
the right field wall. It was good to see Prez Kavanaugh. He gave it a big attempt and then flipped over the right field wall.
Yeah, no, he didn't catch it.
He did not catch
not
it.
get that one.
Nope.
I mean, that was hammered. I mean, that was out of here quick too.
Yeah, it was gone in a hurry. 1-2. That's up and in on Lazaro, but he takes it 2-2. Good crowd tonight for a Sunday night.
Nice crowd. Yeah, Sunday night. I'm usually in bed. No, I'm not. I was going to say I'm usually in bed by this time on a Sunday night, but that's just not true whatsoever.
Hey, just yawned, so I don't know.
I'm tired, man. I'm telling you. These late nights with the rain, the weather today, it's got me tired. Like the clouds.
Yeah.
We did not see a lot of sun today. I don't think
gloomy.
any.
I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
any.
real gloomy. There's been too much of that on the Cape this year.
Agreed. Payoff pitch. Chopped up the middle, and it gets through. What do you expect for the Braves tomorrow night against Orleans back at Eldridge for the final time? Beautiful park, excited to get
Beautiful
back.
park.
And expected to be a nice evening for baseball.
Beautiful park, good Wi-Fi there too, which
Great
is always
Wi-Fi.
good for us.
Always love a visiting park with great
because,
Wi-Fi.
yeah, we usually have the hotspot. But yeah, no, I mean after this game, yeah, I don't know because like this is a tough mental game right now. You know, this is kind of the first time that Bourne's been roughed up, and obviously with the call earlier. That puts a mental toll on you. So,
Fouled back.
yeah, tomorrow's gonna be you got to bounce back. I mean, you just have to. I'm interested to see how they bounce back. You know, like, are they gonna look like the Bourne Braves we've seen all year, or are they gonna kind of struggle a little bit?
Well, we talked about it. Obviously, something to keep an eye on is the Braves can still clinch the division tonight if Falmouth loses or ties. The last time we checked, Nick, we'll check it again here now. Falmouth was tied 4-4 in the 7th. So it could be a bittersweet night, per se, for the Braves, even if they lose. A game in which they can still clinch.
Yeah. That always feels weird, though, doesn't it?
It does,
To clinch
yeah.
when you lose.
It is. It's not right.
Yeah, no.
You almost
just
got to do
don't
it again the
feel-
next night.
Yeah, no.
It's happened before in Major League Baseball. Just doesn't feel as good, though, when you win the game and you know that division crown is waiting for you. Chatham and Falmouth still tied at 4, top of the 8th inning. Remember, if that game ends in a tie, Braves still clinch. Swing and a miss.
That was
Strike 3.
Beautiful
Good pitch.
breaking ball. Looked like a curve, I think.
It was. The breaking ball.
Something funky.
It's a pitch that he has at times struggled to throw this year. Kind of really found that pitch in his last outing and perfected it there. Good pitch there. Katuita's just tied up the Wareham Gateman in the 7th. It's a 1-1 score, so low-scoring affair out at Spillane. Orleans leads 6-5 on Hyannis. How about the Harbor Hawks and the Harwich Mariners
Well,
of late?
I'll tell you something. The Harbor Hawks, I'll preface this by saying they're not going anywhere this summer, but kudos to them because, I mean, they're playing well. And, teams like that, sometimes when Peter Burns going for another one.
On the move, and Burns unable to get Lazaro stealing. The always speedy Jake Lazaro, who's frequently used as a pinch runner for this Harwich team. The advances over there.
But, yeah.
On the stolen base.
With Hyannis, they're in a position right now where they're not playing for a championship. They're not even playing for a playoff run. So they're probably playing a lot looser. And they're just going out and saying, you know what, let's just have fun, whatever. You know?
Well, how about...
And a lot of times you play better like that.
Absolutely. Powers ready. 1-0 here to Preisner. Takes it downstairs. Well, how about this stat? Got this on Twitter from the Harwich Mariners play-by-play broadcaster Tyler Henry. Reads this. Some staggering numbers from the last 2 games between Harwich and Hyannis. For Harwich, in the last 2 games against Hyannis, 33 runs on 32 hits. And for Hyannis, 28 runs on 26 hits. Here's the catch, but the difference. Hyannis strands 32 runners, including 19 in scoring position, and strands 2 or more on base 12 times.
Yeah, 18 innings, right?
Yet,
yeah.
combining for 2 of the 4 highest scoring games in Cape Cod Baseball League history.
That is, it makes you think, what would it have been if they weren't stranded
Right?
runners? Yeah.
And it makes you think, too, as a walk here to Preisner, Harwich scored in the first 6 innings yesterday. Their first
All of
scoreless
their
inning
runs?
was in the 7th. Yes, all of their runs, all 18 in the first 6 innings.
So
Meanwhile,
average of
Hyannis,
3 an inning.
Yeah.
Some
Meanwhile,
quick math for you.
yeah. There you go, Nick. That's why you're here.
That's why
Meanwhile,
I'm here,
for the
yeah.
Harbor Hawks, they scored 8 in the 8th and 2 in the 9th. They scored 10 of their 16 runs in the final 2 innings.
It's a very Bourne Braves-esque score.
Yeah,
right
getting
there.
the crooked
A
number
scoring
up there in a
performance, yeah.
hurry.
Late scoring.
We were told this, though. There was a point last night in which Harwich, this game was last night, by the way, in this 18-16 final. There was a point last night in which Harwich led the game 14-3. It was 18-16 final.
I don't understand baseball. I mean, I know I've
It's
been
laughable. It's funny.
covering this now this summer, but I've been watching baseball for I would say 21 years, but the first 6 years of my life I don't remember. So we'll say I've been consciously watching baseball for 2/3 of my life. Still don't get it. Some things just happen in it that make zero sense.
And the first game, Harwich winning 15-12.
Really?
Yeah. Galley's got a case of the yawns over here. 1-1, fastball called strike, 1 and 2.
Can't stop. Well, because you
Nick,
mentioned it earlier.
Is the offense not entertaining enough for you tonight?
You mentioned it earlier, and now it's on my mind.
Yeah,
I
well,
keep
you know
doing
what?
it.
I'm not yawning over here. Do you see me yawning? You're doing it again. You're doing it again. I laughed
I'm,
you out
no,
of
I'm
it.
good. I'm good. I'm good.
Here's Prez Kavanaugh with a 1-2 count. First and second for the Mariners. Bowers looking to get out of it here. 1-2. Breaking ball ripped into right. Hooking foul and does.
You act like you've never been tired in your life.
I never get tired.
Yeah, I'm sure
invincible to
yeah,
tired.
I'm sure.
Never.
I'm sure you never get tired, Reeves.
Never. I don't sleep. I haven't slept a minute in my life.
Yeah, I doubt it. Is that why the lanky figure, you just never sleep? So just this slender figure, just running around all day?
I run around. I go through my day and I run from 12 to 7.
12 to 7.
3-2. Look at the bat go flying. It wasn't even broken. Slipped out of the hands. Moylan avoids it. And Agnos makes a nice play. Moylan had to dodge the bat and find the ball, but wasn't even phased. Nice play there. 4-3 putout. Ends things for Bowers and the Braves in the top of the 8th. Braves will have 2 more chances at the plate to try to make a big comeback down by 5.
Out of the construction area and off the Anderson.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Liam Simon back out there against Max Anderson. 2, 3, and 4 for the Braves. And if they want to chip away at the lead, now's the time to do it.
Only 2 more opportunities and 6 outs to work with. Max Anderson needs to get on here. Whoa.
Ripped into left field. Heading back is Phillips. And that is going to bounce over the wall. This one will indeed be a ground rule double, unless we have some umpire discretion. But Anderson is aboard with a leadoff double. A good start for the Braves here in the bottom of the 8th. The fans having fun with that one, I can tell you that.
That's as perfect as it gets as far as timing. I mean, Max Anderson slammed that one. It's
Dalton
an actual
rushing.
ground rule double, and he stands atop of second. That was crushed over the head of Phillips, the man who got the grand sham.
Yes, there you go. That's cemented in history. Here's Dalton rushing. With Anderson aboard at second, he's an extra base hit machine for the Braves. And rushing skies this one over our heads here in the booth and onto the berm. Nothing in one. Rushing, hard grounder over to second. Scooped up there by McDermott. And over to Potts for out number one. But a productive out for rushing. Moves Anderson over to third, and the Braves looking to chip away here in the home eighth.
The left fielder from the University of South Carolina, number 29, Braylon Wimmer.
Well, we're closer to a 7-3 game. Still stands at 7-2. Braylon Wimmer, who leads the team in RBIs with 16. Another prime opportunity to send one in. He was out there in left field when Phillips hit that bomb. There's a crazy night here at Doran Park.
Crazy. A lot of things have happened.
I feel like that's just becoming normal, and there's no normal night here at Doran.
Yeah,
There's
just when
either
you
rain.
think you've seen the craziest thing of the season, which the sprinklers, to us, the two times, were the craziest thing we've seen all season, might be top tonight. One thing I've always heard in this business and in baseball, never say never when it comes to thinking you've seen the least expected thing you've expected to see all year.
That's
If that made
certainly
sense.
true.
Yeah.
I mean,
It can always be topped. I can promise you that.
even going to Eldridge Park the last time we were there and seeing
The sprinklers.
sprinklers
yeah.
come on and actual players from
Yeah.
the dugout going and putting buckets on top of the sprinklers and sitting on them. I mean, are you kidding me? This is only happening in the Cape League, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I think maybe it was topped tonight by the ground roll double turn grand slam. Obviously, both are different, but they're still comparable. But like I said, never say never. There could be, in the final 10 games plus postseason play, a weirder thing to happen. 2-2. Wimmer lofts it foul.
Wimmer batting .296 coming into the game. He's 0 for 3, though, and not improving on that average.
Oh, a called strike three to Wimmer. Not a fan of that call. Appeared to be down and away. Get some moans and groans from the home supporters. And there's two down.
Someone from the crowd just asked the umpire if he has dinner in the oven. That's one of the better ones I've heard today.
That is funny. That's too funny. Tanner Schobel up at the plate. Want to know the count. Colby Thomas of the Braves on deck circle. Had that big triple in the 6th inning. As this one is launched high and deep to left. Phillips moving back. He looks up and that ball is gone. Tanner Schobel with a 2-run homer. And the Braves are slowly chipping away. It's 7-4.
Well, 4 outs still to work with and 3 runs to get back. Tanner Schobel makes that comeback look a whole lot easier. And the slugging king, Colby Thomas, you never know what we could get. Again, expect the unexpected, like you said, Reeves.
The right fielder from Mercer University, number 8, Colby Thomas.
Here's Colby Thomas with the bases clear and 2 down. Big shot there from Schobel, his 3rd home run of the season. All of them have been to roughly that same spot in left field. Pull happy when it comes to the homer ball. That's 2-0 to Colby.
Well, as you mentioned, Colby had that triple. He puts some major power on the ball And that was a home run swing, I think, that we just saw right there.
Colby chasing that a little too far in the attic, 2-1. Good spot, good pitch there from Simon. It's a tough pitch to hit. Pitcher's pitch on the outside corner, painted on the black.
Still 4-4 in the Chatham-Falmouth game. If they lose, we clinch the top spot in the West Division.
Pop up in the infield. Who wants it? Looking like it's Potts. It's going to be the pitcher, Simon. Calls him off and makes the catch. But the Braves get 2 thanks to a nice Tanner Schobel 2-run homer. And the Braves have pulled within 3 as we head to the 9th here on a cloudy and misty night at Doran Park.
Southern Miss, number 37.
Back with you, top of the 9th inning. Braves get a new look at a fresh arm for the first time all season. Out of Southern Miss, the big right-hander, Tyler Stewart. Stewart at Southern Miss, a 7.16 ERA. Lost 2 games, didn't win any, 13 appearances. 9 strikeouts, 7 walks, over 16 1/3 innings. And to tell you about Tyler Stewart's first outing, here's Daniel Coates.
Thank you, Reeves, and as always, an excellent job in the past 2 innings. First pitch from Levens, taken high and foul towards Cape Cod Upper Tech here at Doran Park. Tyler Stewart's first appearance on the mound for the stretch 4.
Yeah,
you're
not looking at a power forward from the Boston Celtics who made his way on down to the Cape. 6'9", 240 pounds, Tyler Stewart. That's intimidating.
And there's the fastball. It misses low, though, and Tyler Stewart, as you briefly outlined, Reeves, was seen in a little over 16 innings pitched. In those 16 innings, 13 earned runs for Stewart. 7 strikeouts to 6 batters walked. That one's fouled. He struggles with his accuracy, and when he is accurate, it looks like he was hit up down at Southern Miss. So looking to rewrite a new story. And the Cape League is the best spot to do it, as well as with the best team in the Cape. 1-2, breaking ball just missing low to Levens. He lets it drop on the dirt. 4-7, thanks to a Tanner Schobel 2-run shot to left field. The Braves are right back in this. We're going to need some late-night heroics once again. Needs to start on defense, though. Swing and a miss. The first batter faced for Stewart results in a strikeout. And a good start for the Southern Miss pitcher.
Yeah, great start for Stewart, obviously getting Levens there.
Now batting, the third baseman from
An
Wake
all-star.
Forest University, number 25.
Throwing strikes, that's all you got to do. Just throw strikes. Trust your stuff. That's what'll make you successful.
Yeah, Brock Wilkin with 1 out, 7-4.
And you take away that Wilkin 2-run blast, it's a 1-run game. It's a big difference maker so far.
Swing and a miss.
I'll tell you, Wilkin's got a violent swing, doesn't he?
I was also going to say that Stewart has a violent fastball to compare. But an 0-1 to Tatum Levens, who, as you mentioned, or to Brock Wilkin, I should say, who homered in his last appearance. 1-1. As I mentioned, a 4-4 game against the Chatham Anglers and the Falmouth Commodores. If the Commodores drop that game, no matter what happens here tonight, we will clinch the #1 spot in the West Division. Going into the playoffs, 1-2, a beautiful fastball on the lower outer half.
It'd be nice to bring back Western Division champion Hardware back into the Doran Park press box.
1-2 count with 1 out. Breaking ball too far outside. They say he didn't go. Peter Burns has been stellar behind the plate tonight, throwing out 2 men stealing at second. Miss slowly falling here. And that breaking ball slowly falling into the dirt for a full count and a payoff pitch for Stewart. As I mentioned, 6'9" and intimidating on the mound. He throws downhill, that is for sure, and you can see that as he presents his heater. Full count. That one's low and behind Peter Burns. He scurries onto it. But that is the first man on base in the top of the 9th for Brock Wilkin with a full count walk.
From the University of Notre Dame, number 22, Carter Potts.
Now Potts up, obviously coming in, and Daniel comes in and faces the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, 3 all-stars. Not an easy task. Strike out the first, walk the second. But for Stewart to settle down, throw strikes, let your defense work behind you.
1 out here, a potential double play opportunity for Potts. If he were to ground one into the middle of the infield, high and jumping is Peter Burns. Can the Braves do it again on their home turf? We've already seen a handful of comebacks from the Braves this year, most recently a walk-off single from Peter Burns 2 nights ago against the Orleans Firebirds. That one's chopped to Schobel. Will he go 2? He gets a man at second, unable to turn it at first. He's out.
What a play.
One heck of a play by Zach Agnos to get a wayward throw in for a force out at second.
Even Schobel going all the way across his body and having to turn and throw that to second in the presence of mind, knowing he still has time to get Brock Wilkin over there. Heads up play there by Schobel, even better stretch on the reception, I should say, from Agnos.
2 outs, top of the 9th. The final hope is Dylan Phillips to add to their lead. Slowly the mist is increasing.
Yeah, I messed with Nick. Both times he come out this game, mist started to fall.
Stewart drifting high with the first pitch, 1-0. Stewart throwing well, still a bit wayward, which is what we were concerned about. But he's looked good so far, struck out the first batter he saw. 1-0 with Potts on first. This one taken high to right field. That's going to be in foul territory. Can Thomas get to it? No, it stays in the park, but it will result in a foul ball. 2 outs.
Yeah, just jammed up. Phillips there, who had the big blow of the game with that grand slam. And the first 4 runs on the board for Harwich tonight.
A great play by Zach Agnos for the second out, a chopper to Tanner Schobel. Looks like he was trying to turn 2, but just had to focus on 1. The 1-1. That one caught the outside corner. An absolutely perfect spot for Stewart. Some activity in the Braves bullpen out there. Not too much, though. I think this is Stewart's game to completely take here with 2 outs, 1 and 2. The Southern Miss pitcher for the first time. That one's in the dirt. Peter Burns has an opportunity to throw down Potts.
He does.
That's the third caught stolen in this game by Peter Burns. How about that? The gun on the Boston College catcher. He secures the 3rd out. We are trailing by 3 runs going to the bottom of the 9th. Joker and the Thief playing, and the Braves are poised for another comeback victory at home. The Commodores have just walked off the Chatham Anglers, so in order to clinch the top spot in the West Division tonight, we need a bottom of the 9th comeback. Joshua Moylan to start things off. He has a home run already today. That was his first of the entire season. 1-0, swung on and missed, 1-1.
Yeah, unfortunate. Obviously, Falmouth winning that in the bottom of the 9th inning at Gov Fuller. They have been hot of late, man. They are gunning for that 2 seed out in the Western Division.
The 7-8-9 due up with the 7-spot hitter now ahead, 2-1. Umpire might have gotten clipped by that pitch. Simon's still on the mound. 3-1, a good eye by Joshua Moylan. We haven't seen much action around the right field pole, and coined as Froggy's pole. 3-1. And Josh Moylan gets on base to start the bottom of the 9th. Zach Agnos, who had a solo shot yesterday at Veterans Field, steps in to the batter's box with no outs. Peter Burns, who would be the tying run, is on deck. He was the hero 2 nights ago.
Yeah, Braves can just get runners on base. Keep that train rolling. Keep runners on base, and heck, who knows? Could tie one up with a bomb or just keep getting base hits. We'll take walks too. Any way you can get runners on base. Harwich bullpen now has a lefty warming up. Wonder if that's Owen Cody, the all-star who was hit around by Tanner Schobel the last time we were at Harwich on Tuesday, less than a week ago.
Seven to 4. The Braves are in a rare situation where they trail at home. We haven't seen this much. We were once faced with a 5-run deficit early on today. Josh Moylan at first off a walk from Simon from Notre Dame. And I think they were just buying time because now looks like there's going to be a coaching visit and a potential change in pitcher.
Yep, go to the pen.
And they will go to the pen. We'll introduce the new Harwich Mariner on the mound in just a few moments here at Dorn Park in the bottom of the ninth. John Garcia taking over for Joshua Moylan at first as a pinch runner, and Owen Cody taking over for Simon, who we saw a handful of days ago at White House Field. And our victory from UPenn and their ace when it comes to the ninth inning.
Yeah, Cody, who had yet to give up a run on the season and had just given up one hit. Well, the Braves do what they do best. They had 2 base knocks, 3 earned run against Owen Cody, including that big Tanner Schobel 2-run single to left field. Braves had 6 runs in that inning.
The 0-1. Garcia. Swing and a miss from Zach Agnos. An 0-2 quickly with no outs in the bottom of the ninth. Looks like Peter Burns will be pinch hit for Nick Goodwin, who is now on deck. Garcia with a lead at first. Battled off. Stays 0-2. An interesting move. Nick Goodwin being put in, the Kansas State kid. And the Grambling State catcher put in for Josh Moylan, who had a solo shot to right field tonight. And always love to see that kid succeed.
Love it. Love, love, love it. I think Goodwin on deck for Pete just to give some power. Braves hoping to get the long ball in play maybe here.
0-2 and strung up with a breaking ball low and in the dirt. 1 out. Nick Goodwin now to the plate. The Braves still trail by 3 after the Falmouth Commodores have just walked off the Chatham Anglers. The Braves need to win tonight if they want to clinch the 1 spot in the West Division. Nick Goodwin coming into tonight with a .211 average. Settling in, here's Cody. Fouled right back towards us. Joe Lampe is on deck. Oh, 1 out. That breaking ball taken to third base. Will they double him up? They have him at second, and they have him at first. Grounding to third, and a double play will end this game. The Harwich Mariners get the better of us in the second game we've seen them in this week. The Braves cannot clinch the division tonight, but they have an opportunity to do so in the coming week. The Braves drop one 7-4 at home against the Harwich Mariners. A couple of funky calls on the night, of course, but the Braves match just couldn't string them together. Joshua Mullen with a solo shot. Max Anderson with a ground rule double. Other than that, nothing terribly notable, and a fourth inning that the Harwich Mariners exploded, and the Braves just couldn't battle back from it.
Yeah, Schobel had that two-run shot as well. They gave the Braves a chance maybe in that ninth inning, but they're just unable to get it going. Obviously, Owen Cody came in. We know how excellent he's been, an all-star for this Harwich staff. That's okay. You know, like we mentioned, you're going to have off nights, and just the Braves' fourth loss of the season. Harwich, a very, very good team. A team that if the Braves are lucky enough to get out of that first round of the playoffs and make it to the championship here of the CCBL, Harwich is a team that they could very well potentially match up with. As right now, it's really looking like it's going to be Harwich and Brewster. Still have 9 games left after tonight, so a lot can still happen. But to me, it's Harwich and Brewster, the two premier teams in the Eastern Division, and here in the West, it's Bourne, and whoever wants that second spot. Right now, it appears that Falmouth is really, really taking a turn and on a win streak now, trying to get that second playoff spot.
Well, Falmouth just walked off the Chatham Anglers. We don't know the final score just yet, but we got word from our Darren Weeks, general manager, that they had. So the Braves are unable to get the one spot tonight, but they are in a prime position to do so tomorrow at Eldridge Park against the Orleans Firebirds, who we walked off thanks to Peter Burns' bottom of the ninth 2-out shot up the middle. The Braves drop to 21-4-3. Still not too bad.
Nah, not too shabby.
Not our night here at Doran Park. 7-4 is the final against the East Division Harwich Mariners, who improve on their already impressive record. For Reeves Jackson and this entire broadcast crew, thank you very much. We'll be at Eldridge Park tomorrow at 7 p.m. against the Orleans Firebirds for the second time this week. We look for win number 2 against them, and the Braves drop one tonight. Thank you all for listening, and go Braves. Tune in tomorrow for win number 22.